I said what I was trying to say was no, but
No. Okay. So yeah, just because like more men have built things than women, this doesn't mean that males are necessarily better at building things than females. And this would
honestly,
just dispute your entire reason as to why men are superior to women. Thanks for
how
playing.
many men are willing to become surgeons in versus women's in your juxtaposition? That doesn't make any sense because you already said that more men are willing to become surgeons than women.
Okay.
As far as your statistic, your made up statistic goes, it
It
shows
has to
that
do
there
with
is a
who's willing.
willingness in men to more do those complicated tasks than women are to do.
I'm
So
gonna say
where
it's
would
not
you
because of
show
one's willingness.
superiority in that? I mean, like
I'm gonna say it's not because of willingness, but rather because of like opportunity. I'm gonna say that men have more opportunity to do so than women would, and we can
would
put this in
you
other
give me
contexts as
an
well.
example
It's like
where
specifically in the context of our society, right? We specifically see like white people, right, leading businesses more than black people. We see white people like leading the society in the context of the president more than black people, right? We see like more white people in STEM-related fields than black people, right? So if your logic were to follow, would you say that like white people are somehow superior? Because this is the same logic you're giving me to justify why men are superior.
no, I'm saying people that are willing to work hard and apply themselves are more superior than people that aren't. I'm saying that if you apply yourself and you discipline yourself to a certain education, you work fucking hard, you can do whatever the hell you want in this country. And I think it shows for a lot of people. Why do you think that there's a greater number of Indian doctors than there are American
Okay.
born or European descended Americans? Like
Yeah,
there's a
so
work ethic installed there. No,
my
you're
argument
not.
is
You're
it's
making these weird blanketed democratic statements. Like
I'm making a
it
blanketed
doesn't make
statement. You're saying that men
sense
are superior to women. How's that not a weird blanketed statement?
because statistics
Yeah.
apply
Yeah.
statistics of men
Statistics.
taking on harder jobs. Like my role as a man is to provide for my wife. And I firmly agree with that because I am more superior in terms of like physical discipline and I wouldn't even say mental discipline. My wife is a very smart person,
Okay,
but I'm
I don't care. I
capable
don't
of
really
doing
care
more
about
than
your
her.
personal life. I don't really care about your personal life, Nathan. So, yeah, so I'm going to say that the reason that we see men doing more of the harder things isn't because they're more capable of doing them. It's because they have more opportunity to do them, right? But if you're saying that this would be
Give an
denoting that they're
example
capable,
then.
I'm a dude, Nathan, I'm going to mute you, right? You're a baby. You keep interrupting me. If like, yeah, if your claim is that this makes them more capable, right? We could just put this in another light to show you the absurdity in the statement, right? Because like not only do we see like men being more disposition to do these things than women, we also see white people being more disposition to do these things than black people. Like for instance, 8% of Fortune 500 CEOs are black, right? The highest poverty rates, if we were to like categorize this on the basis of race, would be African Americans, right? If we were to look at like specific household incomes, white households make like $10,000 to $20,000 more a year than black households, right? And like, would you seriously use this data and interpret the conclusion that somehow like white people are more capable? Or would you probably look at the nuances of this situation and conclude that white people have more opportunity and advantage, societally speaking?
Great. You talk about nuance. That is so fantastic that you brought that up because there's a ton of nuance.
Okay, Nathan, I asked you a question. I've asked you a lot of questions since you've been on the live. I've asked you so many questions, and you haven't answered one. So I will require an answer to this question. If you can't provide it, I'm gonna move on to the next guest because I'm just done wasting my time on a track star. So you know the question I asked you. I'm not gonna repeat it. Go ahead and answer it. Vixen, thank you so much for the crown. I appreciate that. So click on your profile picture and click the icon of the mic to unmute yourself, Nathan.
But okay, restate your question. And I want to preface this statement by saying that you asked.
Nathan, I've restated it. I've restated it 3 times. Are you just like being willfully obtuse and not listening to
No,
me?
I'm not trying to be obtuse. I'm trying to like give some sort of moral objective, and it seems like you're not trying to listen to a juxtaposition. Like it just seems
Okay.
like you're
So
so
Nathan, now
fucking
we're just
stuck.
going back to all this hoop-de-doo, right? So you are being obtuse, Nathan. I'm gonna go ahead and cut your mic off. I'm gonna ask the question one last time out of good faith, Right? If you can't answer, I'm moving on. I'm really tired of your childish games, but it doesn't surprise me after all you're a misogynist. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you the question one last time. In the same way, we'd see a dynamic exist between men and women, like men doing the harder work, men being more business leaders, building society, leading society, working in STEM related fields, making more money. This same dynamic would exist between white and black people, right? We see like STEM related fields are dominated by white people, STEM related, like who's led our society in the context of presidents, dominated by white people, right? Who makes the most money in the context of our society? White people are more dispositioned than black people to do so. We see white families make $20,000 or so more a year than black families. We see the highest rates upon unemployment and poverty in the context of African Americans. All of the things in which you've said about men and women could also be said about white and black people. So for this reason, would you say that white people are just simply better abled and more willing to do all the hard work? Or would you say that, well, maybe black people face systemic forms of oppression and barriers that white people do not, giving white people more opportunity?
No, I don't think there is, because if there's no systemic
So
form
you
of
think that white people are just gonna, so you're a race realist. So you'd hold to this idea that white people are just simply more able than black people. So in the
that's
same
not what
way
I
that you
said at
use
all.
this, in the same way that you use this logic to conclude that men are superior to women, would you use this logic to conclude that white people are superior to like African Americans? Thank you for the coral as well.
Well, if you wouldn't quit muting me, I would be able to make a full point like you make full points. What I'm trying to say is there's equal opportunity amongst people inside of the United States of America. If you apply yourself, especially if I applied to Harvard, I might get denied because I don't fit their diversity narrative. And I'm not opposed to that. There's just certain things in place that people use to objectify. That's not their fault. That's not.
Okay, yeah. So do you think that white people are superior to African Americans?
No, not at all.
Wait, why? Because the same, right? Like the same dispositions in terms of like men working harder than women would also exist in the context of white people apparently working harder than black people.
How so?
Yeah, like these social categories such as like men leading businesses, running the society, and doing the hard work according to your own standards. These same dynamics would also exist in the context of white and black people. And Amanda, thank you for the dollar over PayPal.
So I've worked for African Americans, and I don't see any sort of difference between me and them.
We're
They're
talking
my
about
boss. They're
statistics,
the
dude.
one that.
Wait,
Wait,
we're
you're
talking
not
about
letting me make a
generalizations.
full point.
Yeah, I'm cutting you off because that's an anecdote. We're talking about generalizations. Of course, we'd also be able to look at plenty of women that are phenomenal business leaders. We'd be able to look at plenty of women that are phenomenal at doing hard work, right? We're just touching on like the general statement that men would dominate these fields in comparison to women, just like white people would dominate these fields in comparison to black people. Like in one anecdote of one good black leader, right, would not diminish the fact that these fields are white dominated. And Wes, thank you for the cap.
Okay, but you're just using
W200K, W200K in the chat, y'all. W200K.
you're
W200K in
using
the chat.
generalized blanketed statements that are trying to pull racism out of the dirt. I've had women bosses, I've had African
Wait,
American bosses, I've had white.
just like you're using
You're still
generalized
cutting me
blanket
off.
statements.
This is so
Just like
preposterous
you're
for a
using
debate.
generalized blanket statements to pull misogyny out of the dirt. You think it's a generalized blanket false racist statement to say that white people are superior to African Americans, but you don't think it's a generalized blanket faulty statement to say that men are superior to women. Like, yeah, this is going to be true in both contexts. If you'd apply it in the context of the dynamic that exists between white and black people, you'd have to apply it in the context of the dynamic that exists between men and women.
Great. And the same thing, if you wanted to apply context as a result of hard work, then you would still end up with the same result. Men,
Which is?
Hispanic, it doesn't matter. This country is made of immigrants. But if the opportunity is there for anybody to open themselves up to hard labor, but it's statistically proven that women are more willing to take desk jobs than physical labor jobs in differentiation to men. Men are more willing to take blue collar hard labor jobs than women. Blue collar hard labor jobs built this country. Blue collar hard labor jobs built our society, built the skyscrapers in New York, built our roadways, built our subway systems. This is statistically proven. And I'm not saying that women did not
Yeah, it's also
participate.
statistically proven that like white people dominate these spaces in comparison to black people. So
Why are
like
you
this is
trying
also
to turn it
true.
into a racism issue? That is so preposterous.
Because
for you to
what's
pick
the
a
distinction?
subject.
What's the distinction between you saying since these fields are male dominated, men are superior, and you saying since these fields are white dominated, white people are superior? What's the distinction between those two statements?
I didn't say that white people were superior in these fields because black.
One second, you're
trying
not
to cut
answering
me
my
off,
question.
dude. It's so
Wait,
preposterous.
you're not answering my question, bro. I'm asking you for the specific distinction. Like these saying, like yeah, you're saying since men dominate these things, this means men are superior. Well, like we'd also see, right, white people be more predispositioned to exist and dominate these spaces than black people. So, I mean, the fact that you don't hold the white supremacy is good, but it does show a contradiction in your logic because your logic would justify white supremacy. It's called an analogy. Once again, I'm going to ask you, what's the distinction between saying, since men dominate these spaces, men are superior? What's the difference between that statement and the second statement, since white people dominate these spaces, white people are superior? What's the difference?
Because it doesn't apply.
Why doesn't it apply?
Because I wasn't making a statement about race.
Because
I was
you weren't
making
making a statement about race, but your logic would imply this statement about race because this same fact about white people dominating like men dominate is true.
No, you tried to make it a juxtaposition in a
No,
racial
you're saying that I'm
bias
wrong.
of a
Wait,
race.
you're saying that I'm wrong. No, these are facts. These are statistics of reality. In the same way that men dominate these spaces, it's more specifically white men. White people dominate these spaces in comparison to black people, just like men would dominate these spaces in comparison to women. And if you don't believe in systemic barriers that would prevent equal opportunity, you'd have to concede to the fact that men would just simply be better able to do these things. Similarly, you'd have to agree that white people are just simply better able to do these things. But both of these claims sound just equally as absurd. Right?
Can I ask
and,
you
and
a
you
question?
observe the absurdity in the context of white and black people, right? So why shouldn't you observe the absurdity in the context of men and women?
Can I ask you a question first
Go for
before I
it.
answer? And I will. Can I ask?
Yeah, I said go for it.
Okay, why do you suddenly decide to change the conversation about women to men to black people and white men as soon as I start to make statistical viewpoints and statistical logic? Why do you decide to digress into a situation that doesn't even apply to either of us in today's society?
Yeah, well, we actually didn't digress at all, right? So like the same,
How
like
is
this
that
is
not
contextual
digressing?
because it's contextually analogous. And the same way that you're building off of the statistics that these are male-dominated spaces to lead you to the conclusion that men are superior, you could build off the statistics that these are white-dominated spaces, therefore white people are superior. It's called an analogy. It's where we like take your logic, right, and we apply it in a scenario that just seems incredibly absurd, and that's exactly what we did.
All I'm trying to say, and the only viewpoints and opinions I'm trying to give, is if you work hard, you're able to do whatever the hell you want in this country. That's what
Please
this
don't pivot.
country was founded
Please
on.
don't. Please don't pivot. Don't pivot away
It's
from the
not
point,
a
bro.
pivot. That's not
Yes,
a
it is. Yes, it is because we're talking about an analogy, and then you completely pivot off and say, "If you work hard, dude." Okay, go ahead and respond to the analogy, right? I don't appreciate your pivot. I don't think you understand what an analogy is, right? So, can you define analogy for me, Nathan?
An analogy is giving an example of something. Why are you trying to make this into intellectual argument? An analogy is
Wait.
giving an
Oh wait.
example of
I'm. Oh
something
wait.
else
You're. Wait. One
trying to
second. You just
see
asked
what
me
you're trying
why
to
I'm trying to
describe.
make this into an intellectual argument, Nathan. Oh my God, this is supposed to be an intellectual argument. But given like your lack of your ability to abstractly think outside of the box or to understand what an analogy is, and given the fact that you've been unable to provide me the distinction between using this logic to justify male superiority and using this logic to justify
I feel like I've given you a lot.
supremacy, all right, what we see is some contradictions. So I'm going to go ahead and ask you one last question here. So even though we understand that like all of these same spaces are dominated by white people, right? Why does this not lead you to the conclusion that white people are superior to like non-white people?
I would say it isn't, and I would stick to your
I'm asking you
topic
why.
of saying why
Wait,
men are
Nathan,
superior than
Nathan, I'm
women.
specifically asking you for your
Oh,
reason.
that doesn't fit with your narrative. Expand a little more. Why don't you?
Nathan, dude, please answer my question, bro. This is getting fucking rough, dude. So even though we understand the fact that these are like white dominated spaces, why does this not lead you to the conclusion that white people are superior to black people? Of course, I agree with you. I'm just wanting you to expand upon your reasoning as to why this does not equate to superiority so we
I
can
didn't
wrap it
make a
back around to the
statement
topic.
that white people were superior to black women or black people at all.
Oh my
Like, I
God.
didn't make that
Nathan,
statement at all.
Nathan, I'm going to go ahead and repeat what I just said, right? Yes, you do not think that white people are superior to black people. I'm asking you,
Is there a
even though.
TikTok rule or bias?
Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and repeat my question. You don't think that white people are superior to black people, okay? Right? Even though, right, all of these same spaces are dominated by white people, right? So why do you not think that white people are superior to black people, even though these spaces are dominated by white people, right? Expand upon the specific reason why this fact of reality does not equate to white superiority.
Because I don't think white people are superior to black people. I think that people
Okay, so you're saying it doesn't equate to superiority because it doesn't equate to superiority.
that's
So,
funny.
dude, I'm going to go ahead and ask you to expand upon your answer anymore. So, you're saying even though this is a fact of reality, they're not superior because you don't think they're superior. Yeah, this is like me saying, well, even though it's a fact of reality that these spaces are male dominant, they're not superior to women because I don't think they're superior. I don't care about what you think, I care about the facts. Why does this fact of reality that these are white dominated spaces not equate to this idea that white people are superior to black people? I don't care what you think, I want facts. Give me an actual argument here. Like, your feelings are not an argument, Nathan.
No, because you keep making up these biases in order to support your ideological beliefs.
What's a bias in which I've
Echo
made up
chamber.
to support my
You keep
ideology
making
beliefs?
you keep muting
Like,
me to
name
make
one.
full points, and you don't allow me to make full points. That's what makes me think.
Yeah, because dude, your response as to why you do not consider white people superior to black people, even though these are white dominated spaces, was just simply you don't think that they're
You're not.
superior.
You're not.
All right, why don't you think they're superior, Nathan? Why don't you think they're superior, Nathan?
Because there's equal opportunity amongst people in the United
Wait,
States.
equal opportunity. Wait, so you're saying that you don't think that white people are superior to black people because there's equal opportunity for everyone? This is gibberish, okay? Why don't you think that men are superior to women even though there's equal opportunity for everyone? This is gibberish. Well, okay, I answer my question. Why do you not think that white people are superior to black people even though these spaces are dominated by white people?
It's not about not black people not working hard or white people not working hard. There's an equal opportunity of people that are willing to work hard, and there's an
Then why are these spaces white dominated?
Stop. There's an equal juxtaposition of people that have grown up in inner cities that are ill fortunate enough to fucking not receive the same kind of benefit and quality of life as us. That's completely separated from your point of why men are superior to the women. You keep trying to
Why
make
are
it a
these
race
spaces
issue
white
in order to
dominated?
win. You're not letting me finish my point, which is
Why are
super
these
immature of
spaces
you. You
white
keep
dominated?
muting me based
I'm
off
the
of
immature
this.
one, you're whining. Why are like all STEM related fields, all leadership related positions, all CEOs of all big companies just absolutely fucking dominated by white people in comparison to black people? Why is that the case?
You tell me. You tell me, because I don't think of it as a race issue. I think of it as a competitive
Dude.
field where people want to apply themselves
You
to
tell me. I'm
certain.
asking for your thoughts.
Apply yourself and you can do whatever you want. If you're willing to risk billions of dollars to
Bro.
make investments in a company,
You're not answering my question. You're pivoting, bro. Tell me why are these spaces like all white dominated, Nathan? Like it's like terrible. Like 92% of Fortune 500 CEOs are white, 8% are black. Like, dude, I need you to tell me why you think this is. I'm asking for your opinion. If you can't answer, I'm moving on, Nathan.
Because white people are CEOs and black people aren't. It's
No, I'm asking
no
you what
idea.
caused this to be.
You're not
No
even
idea.
looking at statistics. You're
All right, we're gonna go and skip the baby. Let's go to move on to our next guest, dude. Oh my God, that was rough, man. I need to stop talking to these brain rot guests. Everyone, y'all, what's up, Kimberly? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
I would just first like to start off by saying the question you've asked.
Okay, well, she had so much background noise. We're not going to listen to the pro yapper. We're going to go to move on to our next guest, y'all. If we are in the guest request, make sure we would hold to this idea that men are superior to women, all things considered. What's going on? Do you think that men are superior to women,
Yes.
all things considered?
Yes.
Okay, why so?
Based off of going back to your last conversation with that dude talking about why there is more white CEOs and stuff, why would you say there's more white CEOs?
Because there is.
Yeah, I would say they're superior solely based off the definition. Do you want to go into the definition of it?
I mean, yeah, what do you take superiority to be? When I say superiority, I'm specifically asking you if you think that men like have more value or are more important, right, or matter more than women.
Well, that's not like superior because superior someone's obviously.
That's what I mean when I say it.
That's definitely not what that. Well, when you say that though, I could say that it means something completely different. That's not the definition. So you can't use superior.
Well, we could have different definitions. That's how language works. But like,
Okay,
how do you
then
define superiority?
Superior, I would say, means that you like riding bicycles. So how are we gonna have this conversation?
Yeah, I'm just gonna kick you and move on to the next guest.
Well, the logic right there fails,
That's what
man.
bitches do.
Yep.
So why do you think
let's
men
have
are
an
superior
actual
to women?
conversation. So let's have a conversation. Superior to women. Do you think a wage gap exists?
Wage gap? Yeah, we see a small one.
Okay, so I would say there's this, like superior since you're controlling that, right? Do you think women are fighting for wage gap or men are?
Okay, so you're saying since there exists a wage gap between men and women, men are superior. Do
Yeah.
you think that are you a YT supremacist?
No, I'm not.
Okay, is there a wage gap between white families and black families?
Yes, you know why?
So it seems
Yeah,
like
yeah,
we'd
hold
have
on,
competing
hold on.
logic.
Logic right there. Do you think racism is a thing in America? Systematic racism?
Of course.
Doesn't someone have to be in charge to control that?
What? I think that systemic like racism is going to be perpetuated by the system in of itself. There's not like one person sitting
Yeah,
behind a
yeah. Who
behind a
created
desk.
the system?
No, there's not going to be like one person sitting behind a desk with a gavel, right, saying this is like the newest patch to systemic racism.
Okay, who created racism? Was it black people?
No, specifically white people.
Okay, so would you say they're superior at that point? That they had higher rank and controlled a whole country based off of racism?
No, I wouldn't. And you don't either.
Really?
You told me that you're not a white supremacist.
I'm not a white supremacist. I'm just stating by definition. You can have your own definition all you want, but we can't
Oh
communicate.
wait, do you think that white people are superior to like African Americans?
Based off a definition, higher in rank and control? Yes.
So you are a white supremacist?
How's that a white tea supremacist? This is going off a definition.
Because you think white people are superior.
Well, what's
Wait,
your
what do you
definition of superior?
Wait,
Can
wait,
read
what do you
the
think?
definition out loud?
What do you think
I'll
white
read
tea
the definition
supremacist
out
is?
loud.
Hey, one second, Crater. What do you think a white tea
Wait,
supremacist is?
That's a whole different topic.
Wait, I
let's
know
read this. Let's read this.
you're self-classifying as a white tea
Okay,
supremacist.
look right here. Superior, Oxford language. Do you need it? You like pulling up stats and stuff. So Oxford says higher in rank, status, or quality.
Okay. So yeah, this is how you're defining superiority, and it would just be entailed by this that
That
you're a
would
white tea
be.
supremacist.
That would be. Well, that's
Do you think
you're
do you think
deflecting.
that
a lot. You're deflecting a lot.
do you mind if you define white tea supremacism for me?
I would say being superior to others.
So you are a white tea supremacist? I mean, you just told us that you think
I
white tea
didn't
people
say
are
I was
superior to African
superior
Americans.
to others.
What's the color of your? Like, what's your race?
My race is not white. I don't identify as white.
Okay, so would you self-identify as inferior?
I'm indigenous,
Okay, would you self-identify as inferior? Because
Native
this is what we follow
American.
from your logic.
Native American. So why does
I'm
this
so sorry. What's your tribe? What tribe are you?
Muskogee? So why is this a question?
What do
about my race?
what do you self-identify as inferior?
Native American. Why is this a question about my race? You sound like the racist here. So
He sounds really. I mean, yeah, we're not gonna like attack
sound
people,
what?
like
I sound
unless
what?
we have evidence.
You're talking about me. I sound what? I'm sorry.
Would you self-identify as inferior?
Inferior would be someone that has absolutely control and power.
What the fuck? You said that like one's
I'm
ranking.
confused what you're asking.
Yeah, you're
to
saying
race,
that
what back?
you're saying that like one's ranking in the context of society, like who's closer to power, will determine their superiority, right?
It
So
does.
like there's gonna be like two things that would follow from this. Like you're
Yes.
gonna find like white people to be superior, correct?
In today's society, if we're talking about when we come into like money, racism, stuff like that, then yes. We
Okay.
blame white people in society, which I mean, right?
So yeah, you're a white supremacist, like self-proclaimed.
But how am I a white supremacist? I'm not even.
Wouldn't this follow from the fact that you think white people are superior? Tell me how this wouldn't follow.
So hold on. So
Wait, one second. I have a real question. Tell me how it wouldn't follow. We're gonna go ahead and define these terms. So you're saying that white people are superior, right? And then we defined white supremacism as thinking that white people are superior. Well, you think that. So how would you not be this? I'm trying to be like choosy with my words because this, like talking about this, typically gets me bananaed. So we're just being very choosy with our words. But it would just follow that you're a white supremacist, brother. Like, be so fucking for real. And then also, like, we could even just look at like more insane reductios to do with this. Like, yeah, during the time of slavery, do you think that white people, like, during the times of slavery, do you think that black people were inferior? Like,
Yes.
dude.
Yes, they were.
Yeah, this is just crazy. Like, no one agrees with
How? Explain to me how they weren't.
Yeah, because we're just gonna say that like all individuals, regardless of their sex, gender identity, or race, right, are not gonna have any like inherently more or less value than other people.
Do you
right?
know
And
what
the perpetuation of this
superior
ideology?
means?
And the perpetuation of this ideology is very poor. And like, yeah, I've already defined superiority, like how we're using it, right? It just has to do with
Well,
like
that's
some
not
innate
how that
level.
works. How can I have a conversation with someone if we don't go based off a like definition? Because, like I said, riding a bicycle means superior to me. How do we have a conversation if we don't know what we're talking about? And we
Well, I'm
make up
confused.
definitions?
You're saying that
Why
like
do you-
well, all
Here,
definitions are
easier
made up.
question. Here, I'll dumb it
One
down.
second. What creator? All
Why was it-
definitions are made up.
Hold on. Okay.
Wait,
so
one
why
second.
do
Would
I
you
have a-
disagree that all definitions are made up?
Okay, then what does high mean?
Wait, do you agree or disagree that all definitions are made up?
Yeah, so we can use
Yeah, you
whatever we
would.
want
So,
then.
so you would agree that all definitions are made up.
That is
right. So therefore,
yeah, we
like
can
when we
say
use
that.
these
They're made
terms,
up.
we're just talking about what would yield the highest
Riding a
level of
bicycle.
utility. So I'm trying to explain to you how language would work. So like the way
You're
that
explaining
the-
me how language was created.
So the way in which language works, if you're willing to listen here,
Yeah, go
so
ahead,
like
please.
obviously
Please
like
enlighten me.
all words are made up, all definitions are made up, right? But the specific way in which it works is we just like use these terms to like correspond to concepts that exist in our own head to specifically convey those concepts, and like we would judge if like language is good or bad based upon the utility in which it would serve.
Yeah,
right?
so the
So
N-word
it's like
was
we could like
word
we could
back
like
in the
to
day,
we could
right?
like denote 1 second. We could like denote, right? Like if like a word has like
What
a
about the
very
N-word?
common colloquial. I'm talking, bro. Please let me finish.
We
If
all
could denote,
agreed on
I'm,
that
bro,
back in the day.
I'm literally talking. Be quiet. So if we could denote that like one word has like a colloquial like understanding or a common meaning, and then you use that word to refer to something like the opposite of or completely different, like the use of this word and the concept that you're attempting to convey is just not going to like yield any utility because no one's going to understand what you mean when you say these things.
Well, that's false.
So it's like this would be a bad definition.
Disagree. Well, you just brought up definition. So what is the definition? Because definition to me means whatever you just said is completely false.
I'm not tracking.
How are
bro.
we communicating right now? Please tell me.
With the use of language?
Language. Where is language defined as?
I don't think that objective definitions exist.
Oh, they don't?
No, of course not. Do you think that things have objective definitions?
Yeah, they would.
Explain to me how a chair can have a definition mind independently. It
Human.
takes a mind
What
to
about a human?
conceptualize
What's a
of a mind. 1 second.
Yeah, what's a
It
human?
literally takes
What's
a
a human?
mind to conceptualize of what a chair is.
Okay, well, what is a human?
What is a human? A Homo sapien sapien? Like I
Where
mean, I
where did you get that from? Please show me.
oh, I mean, I probably got this from a dictionary.
You fucking idiot, man. I just ran circles on you.
Dictionaries are subjective. Do you think that dictionaries are objective?
You're a fucking idiot, man. You just ran back on your conversation. How old
Wait,
are
how
you,
do
buddy?
hey, how do you think? One second. How do you think that dictionaries define their terms?
Well,
Are you
you
ready
did,
to look like a fucking idiot? Are you ready to look like a fucking idiot, dude? You think I just walked into some dumb shit? Well, how do you think that dictionaries define their terms based upon how people use them? Like, dude, are you kidding me? Like every time the
Serious?
dictionary updates, how do you think they update? You fucking idiot, bro. They update the definitions based
ready?
upon how the people in that consensus use them. And like when we're talking about like what's objective is going to be mind independent. And if the way in which dictionaries would define their words is inherently dependent upon minds, i.e., how minds would use certain terminology, right? It would be categorically wrong to assign this as being objective, given the fact that it is specifically mind dependent. Like, dude, are you kidding me?
got you. Hey, perfect. You said something smart, actually. So dictionaries, how they come up with definitions. Do you believe in scientists?
Do I believe in scientists?
Yeah.
Of course.
Do you think scientific definitions are true or false?
What's the scientific definition?
We can use solely like the study of the science biology, which is the definition of biology. Which you go to like a college. You go to college, right?
Wait, I have a question. Is this definition objective or subjective?
Subjective actually.
Okay,
Well,
so
it would
you
actually
conceded
play
your
both
earlier
parts.
point that all
It would actually
definitions
be-
are
it would actually-
objective?
It would actually play
So
both
you
parts.
conceded your earlier point that all definitions are objective. Thanks for fucking playing. Now who's the fucking
No.
idiot, dude? Now who's the fucking idiot? Thank you so much for the concession.
No,
So
you
yeah,
didn't.
what do you subjectively consider yourself to be a YT supremacist, given the fact that you think white people are superior to black people?
So why did you have to go back to this?
Oh, why did I go back to the topic? Oh, I don't know why I went back to the topic of my live. I have no fucking clue why I went back to the topic of my live.
Oh, we can go
I'm
back
so
there.
sorry for going back to the topic of my live after running fucking laps on you and getting you to concede to the fact that definitions are subjective. And if definitions are subjective, there is no objective measurable standard to dictate what definitions are true and false, and we can only dictate the reasonability of definitions based upon the utility in which they'd provide to society, right? You just conceded that definitions are subjective. And if definitions are subjective, there's no true nor false definition, because things in which are clearly, right, dependent upon our preferences cannot be true nor false, because our preferences do not dictate what is true and false. They dictate what we think and feel, and this is not a reliable standard of determining what's true. Right? So unless you do think that our intuitions and our preferences can reliably tell us what is true and false, you cannot say that there's reliable true and false definitions. Thank you for playing. So now back on the context of the topic of the live, do you consider yourself to be a YT supremacist given the fact that you think white people are superior?
First of all, I'm Native American. I don't know why you're talking.
I don't
to
give a
Native
fuck about. I don't give a fuck about
my
what.
God,
I don't give a
racist.
fuck about what you
Racist,
are.
bro.
I don't give a fuck about what you are, bro. Holy fuck, I'm Native American. I'm Native American. Dude, holy fuck. Do you want me to go over to my grandpa's house and give you a tour? Do you want me to tell you my specific tribal relations? Do
tribe?
you want me to
Yeah,
introduce
please.
you with my family?
Please.
No, but you don't hear me fucking harping on this point because it is not. It is not needed. It is so irrelevant to the
Superior, right?
conversation at hand. So go ahead and tell me, right? Go ahead and tell me, right? Are you a YT supremacist?
So when it comes down to that matter, like I've already told you before, when you say subjective, first of all, where did you get subjective from? What is subjective? Can you tell me?
Mind dependent. Stop pivoting. Do you consider yourself to
No,
be a
no,
YT
no, you're
supremacist? Given
pivoting.
the fact
You're
I
pivoting,
answered.
brother.
How did I pivot? I answered your question,
Hey,
then told
white
you to
male,
stop pivoting.
white-
I literally did you to the privilege of answering your question. I didn't pivot because I unironically answered your fucking question first. So after I answered your question, back to the topic at hand. What do you consider yourself to be a YT supremacist? Given the fact that you think white people are superior.
Sir, you can't answer a question with a question. I know that
I
your
didn't.
brain-
You asked me what I think subjective is. I answered. So if something's subjective, it means it's mind dependent.
Well, you gotta
Answer.
like prove
So
that.
now go answer my question, right? Do you think, right, that you are a YT supremacist considering the fact that you think white people are superior?
So you still haven't proven how you got that theory of your definition.
Wait, this is just how I use the word. It's a concept in which I refer
Well, that's
to
not
when I
how
use
I
the word
use
subjective.
it. So I would have to argue that how I use that.
Yeah, how do you use it?
I use it as playing video games. So tell me how I'm wrong.
Oh yeah, it doesn't yield high utility in society. If you walk up to anyone and tell them that you're subjective, right, no one is going to think that you're playing video games.
I
Therefore,
will.
that you using that word in that definition does not yield any utility. Therefore, it's a bad definition. Thanks for playing.
Utility. What is utility?
All right, buddy. Are you going to continue these meta conversations to pivot around the fact that you got fucking ate the fuck up on the main topic, dude? See, this is what misogynists do. This is what misogynists do, chat. Right? As soon as they talk to a real fucking man like Dean Withers and they get absolutely stomped on in the context of debate, right? They just pivot to this weird shit, bro. Like, I understand that you're a copium. This is all pure fucking copium. But this is exactly what we should expect about you. I'm not mad at you, right? This doesn't take me aback. You're not doing anything special, right? It is this copium that causes you to be a misogynist in the first place. You cope with your insecurities by projecting them onto women. What do we call this? Misogyny. So you are coping with your insecurities of losing the debate by projecting them onto me by starting this meta conversation. What do we call this? Ignorance, irrationality, dogmaticism, tribalism, and all of the fucking above, because you are all of these things, sir. Right? So do you want to go ahead and put your big boy pants on and your thinking cap on top of your head and go ahead and engage in intellectual discussion? Or are you incapable of it? I want to be very generous to you because I'm not a rude dude. Right? I'm not a rude dude. I'm not going to assume that you're incapable of these things. So let's go ahead and wrap this back around into the conversation at hand. Right? Do you consider yourself to be a YT supremacist because you think white people are superior?
All right, let's calm down real quick. I know emotions are a little high. What's
your peers and colleagues, i.e. other misogynists, would look down on you for saying that. It's an incredibly typical talking point that men are less emotional than women, and this is why they're superior.
I didn't
But
say
you just
that.
called me, a man, emotional? Holy
didn't
fuck.
say that.
Your peers, colleagues, and fellow misogynists would actually look down on you quite a bit for saying this. You'd say, oh my God, you're hurting our narrative because you just called a man emotional. Oh my God, it seems like you don't have the common talking points that you'll, generally use to belittle women, right? Because you're not talking to a woman, you're talking to a man. See, this is why I fucking love what I do, right? Because like I totally understand that a lot of the things I talk about don't generally involve myself. Like, i.e., when I talk about misogyny or sexism, I'm a man. When I talk about racism, I'm white. When I talk about
Talking about
homophobia, I'm
yourself right
straight, right? But what makes it really cool when I do these things is they can't use, right, these common tools of belittlement, right, to disregard what I say because they're non sequiturs. They can never possibly apply to me even under their own frameworks. I'm a man. You think I'm purely logical, not emotional at all. So why don't you also be a logical man and go ahead and wrap back around to the main point of conversation and tell me if you consider yourself to be a YT supremacist because you think white people are superior. If you can't answer this question, I'm going to go ahead and stamp Dean W on your forehead, write you off as an ignorant misogynist, and move on to my next guest. So do you want to go ahead and waste your 5 minutes of fame by yipping, yapping, and getting kicked? Or do you want to go ahead and embrace the intellectual discussion at hand and answer my question? And Thumb, thank you so much for the $10 over Venmo. W Thumb in the comment section.
Yes, dude. After all that yapping, I'm really like down to go back.
Oh, also all that yapping. Look at you pivoting, bro. All you could do is, oh, Dean, you're yapping. This is the defeater. Dean, you're yapping. This somehow defeats my argument. Bro, I asked you to be intellectual, right? I didn't ask you to use the same terminologies and phrases as my 6-year-old nephew. Big distinction, buddy.
What is terminology then? You don't even.
Yeah, nice pivot, buddy. Nice pivot. Asked you 4 times. Yo, Joshy, thank you so much for the galaxy. W Joshy in the comment section. Okay, yeah, do you consider yourself to be a YT supremacist? What is terminology? You're yapping, brother. Oh my God. See, that's what they do. We scare him. He left with his tails in between his legs. Let's get some W Deans going in that chat. Joshy, thank you so much for the galaxy. Also, y'all, make sure to hit that follow button. I do this every day. It's quite fun, as you will see. What's that, Fredo? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
It's only a debate. You don't need to get so emotional.
Oh, dude. Oh, wait. I'm so sorry. Once again, you're using terminology and phrases that would counteract your movement as to why men are superior to women to begin with. Right? Isn't it a very common misogynist phrase that women are so emotional and men are so logical? So do you want to go out and see what's in between my legs and disprove your own claims? Or do you want to go out and tell me why you think men are superior to women, all things considered?
Calm down, son. Calm down. It's okay.
Are you
Now-
saying that I'm somehow emotional for absolutely just shitting on your whole worldview? Nice pivot, buddy. This is a coping mechanism.
My worldview? What are you talking about? You don't even know my worldview. You haven't
Yeah,
even
we've
heard
talked
me.
before about it. We've talked before
that's-
about it. You do think that men are superior to women, all things considered. So go ahead and tell me why.
No, you haven't actually heard
Bar
my
in Life, thank you so
opinion.
much for the 6-month subscription. W 6-month sub. Hey, Fredo, stop yapping and answer my question.
Don't get so emotional. Relax. Calm down.
Okay, why do you consider men to be superior to women, all things considered?
in some things, men are more superior
Wait, sorry.
to women.
I'm so sorry that like I'm so emotional. I'm just a man after all. Right? This is the reason that men commit 95% of all violent crimes, commit 82% of self-unaliving, and vast majority of all substance abuse because we're so emotional. Actually, I agree with you. Maybe I should reduce my emotions. But I'm gonna go ahead and ask you the same question I've asked everyone else. Do you think that all things considered, or like at the end of the day, that men are superior to women?
Don't get so emotional, Dean. It's okay. Yes,
Okay,
I
you said this,
believe.
Fredo, can you stop fucking repeating the same shit? All right, now it's getting annoying. I thought it was entertaining at first, right? But now you're just repeating the same phrase over and over again. I'm gonna go and repeat my same phrase over and over again because I want you to answer, right? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
In some things, yes.
And some things, yes. It's implied when we say all things considered that we're considering all things, not just some things.
Well, given men and women are the same.
Miranda, think of the $5 over Venmo.
Given men and women are the same in all other areas, except for one area, I would say that men are superior.
Yeah, what's that one area?
Athletics and sport.
Okay, would you say that like women are the same in context of logical and emotional reasoning?
No, I just said to you, given men and women are the same in all other areas, generally speaking.
Yeah, I dispute that. I completely dispute that.
What's
I'm
that?
so sorry. Yeah, I completely dispute that. I think men
Well,
are
you can
much.
dispute it all you want.
I think
You
that
can
men
do-
are much more emotional
Jordan
than
Peterson
women.
clearly said that men and women are essentially the same. So,
Okay, so
other
then how
than
come?
a
Okay,
few
if men
minor
and women,
differences.
if men
A
and
few
women
minor
are
differences.
essentially the same, then how come men commit
except for
95% of
a few
violent
minor
crimes?
differences. A few minor differences. I'm going to take a psychologist, a world-renowned psychologist, ahead of you, Dean. That's for sure.
Okay, so you're appealing to authority. I think I could dunk on this world-renowned psychologist in a one-on-one formal debate. So I'm not going to let you appeal to someone's credentials to just repeat the misogynistic claims in which they'd make. I want you to go ahead and substantiate your own points.
There was no misogynistic claims.
If
Don't
men and
make claims.
if men and women are the same in the context of logical and emotional, like being,
There's no
right, then
misogynist here. I just said men and
So Fredo, I'm going to mute you because you can't control yourself. Stop being emotional. Why are you being so emotional, Fredo?
I'm not being emotional, Dean, at all.
Okay, so then don't interrupt your superior, aka Dean fucking Withers, and wait for me to finish speaking. Thank you.
Sorry, Dean
Right?
Withers. Sorry,
Yeah,
Dean
no,
Withers.
it's okay. I'll forgive you this time. Just don't let it happen again. Right? So yeah,
Sorry,
I
Dean
don't
Withers.
think. Okay, so you did it again. Do you want to get kicked? Is this like your way of trying to exit out of the conversation because you know you're gonna get dunked on?
Not at all, Dean Withers.
Okay, sweet. So, anyways, I'm not going to hold to this claim that like men and women are the same in all attributes. Like, for instance, I think that men are much more emotional than women, and I think that women are much more logical than men. Right? I also think that women could deal with their stress better. This is just true
I
biologically.
don't care what you
speaking.
believe, Dean. I don't care what you believe.
Okay, so let's talk about.
Give
the
me facts. Why are men more emotional than women?
Yeah, they commit 90.
Give me
okay, well,
facts. Facts.
Who do you think would be more likely to
Give me a
self-unalive?
study, a peer-reviewed study, please.
Who do you think would be more likely to self-unalive?
Peer-reviewed study, please, Dean.
Yeah, I have 4 on my page, but you could go look at that after. Who do you think is going to be more likely to self-unalive? Someone that's emotional or someone that's logical?
Someone that has more pressure in society than the other.
So this isn't the question that I asked you.
No, well, it's irrelevant of what you said. It's pointless.
Okay,
Just
so you
because
don't wanna even
just
engage with
because
the
someone
questions that I'm asking you?
just because someone unalives themselves doesn't make them more emotional. They could have more pressures, more issues in their life than the other person. It's irrational, Dean. Grow
Do you
up.
think we'd see a positive correlation between emotions and like an akiness to self-unalive? It's like maybe even the pressure in society could cause these emotions. Emily, thank you for the galaxy. W. Emily. It's like I don't mind if
just
you
said
say
to-
whoever has more pressure
Dean,
in society.
I want a
but we say
peer-reviewed
that
study.
the pressure in
where
society
you
would cause
said
these things.
Peer-reviewed studied, right? Peer-reviewed studied, supported that men are more emotional than women.
Okay, yeah, I
Please.
said I have 4 on my page. Emily, thank you for the money again. If you'd like to look at the specific studies, you could go to my categories at the top, click on misogyny, and watch through them. They're very interesting. So now we're going to go and head back to the questions I was asking you. So I asked you,
And
who do you think would be
why are men more
Frodo?
emotional?
Yeah, who
What
do you
does the
think
study
would,
say?
who do you think would be more likely to self-unalive? Right, someone that's emotional, or someone that's like more emotional, or someone that's less emotional?
Depends on their circumstances.
Okay, so you're not going to answer my question, so I'm just going to move on, man. Guys, we're just looking for people that could actually engage in debate. I'm really done with like the elementary fucking like stupidity coming up onto the live. What's going on, Nando? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
What's up, man? How do I turn? Oh, yeah, here we go. Look, I'm gonna put the
How old are you?
cam on. I'm 23, brother.
Very nice. Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
Sorry, I was just turning on the cam. So, do I think that women, all things considered, yes, I do
Okay, why
think
so?
that men are superior to women, all things considered.
Yeah, why?
Just because, well, just pretty much like in general, men make more money than women because we hold higher positions in general. And
Are white
Just
people
in
superior to
sports.
black people because white people make more money than black people?
wait, go ahead.
Okay. Are white people superior to black people because white people make more money than black people?
No, I feel like that is due to the
Okay, so
fact-
then men aren't superior to women even though they make more money than women. Thanks for playing.
Okay, you're right. I feel you on that point. That was a good point. But I feel like it just depends, like in general. Like I feel like just men, because you said that men are more emotional and like less logical thinkers than women. I disagree with that because I feel like as a man, we don't really like make decisions depending on how we feel, like our emotions. We make
Okay.
more like logical decisions. Like, okay, if we have to go to work today, it doesn't matter how we feel. We're gonna get up and go to work. Or like sometimes I guess girls, this is kind of stereotypical, but I guess girls, depending on if they feel bad or something's going on in their day, they may be more quick to like, oh, that's it. You know what I mean?
Do women not do that?
I say women do that a lot more. Well, like I feel like they're more emotional
Oh
decisions.
no, I was saying specifically responding to the claim that you made that that men do.
Well,
Wow, dude, women hustle too, man. Okay, let's go ahead and look at it. Let's go ahead and look at a few a few questions of mine. Who do you
do it.
think is going to be more likely to self-unalive? Someone that acts on their emotions or someone that acts on logic?
sorry, you broke up right there. Who's gonna what on the live?
Who do you think is going to be more likely to self-unalive? Someone that acts on their emotions or someone that acts on their logic?
Self on a live? I don't understand.
Suicide. It's just we can't say it on
Oh.
TikTok.
Oh, a man or a woman?
No, I did not ask you a man or a woman. I asked you someone that acts on their emotions or someone that acts on their logic.
Emotion.
Emotions. Who do you think is going to be more likely to abuse hard drugs, right? Which is typically understood to be a coping mechanism with unprocessed emotions. Someone that's emotional or someone that's logical.
Emotional.
Okay, what about commit like I don't know, like a violent crime, like shooting someone or homicide, vehicular homicide, domestic abuse, kidnapping, arson, school shootings, mass shootings. Someone that acts on their emotions or someone that acts on their logic.
I would say emotions again. But I
Okay.
know you have the fact that like men do more.
All three of those things. All three of those things are dominated by men. Who do
I
you think
also-
is going to be more likely to perform better in school? Someone that acts on their emotions or someone that acts on logic?
Logic.
Who do you think performs better in school, Nando?
I feel like women.
Yeah, and we could continue this all day, but there's a lot of data points to push this point.
And also, another fact is like the men's world is very competitive, bro. It's very competitive.
Yeah, because
know-
everyone wants to flex their dick. Men are emotional. That's why it's so competitive. It's all like an ego contest.
True. Yeah, it's all an ego
I
contest.
mean, I'm a victim of this because I'm a man, after all.
Yes, sir. No, yeah, but like it's so competitive. We're the breadwinners. You know what I mean? We gotta protect. We gotta do all these things, and like And that's something we can do. We have that title because we're more than capable of taking care of those things. So
Dude, no,
men
you have that
to
title because that's
already
just the way in which the guest, that's just the way in which society, right, tells us how to act, right? These are traditional gender norms set out by men, right, to control women, right? Because men have always wanted more control. Are you kidding me? This is why we've seen culture wars. This is why we've seen things like religious wars. Bradley, thank you for the galaxy. This is why we've seen all forms of wars. It's because like men want more control, right? It's like, guess who started those wars? Men. So it's like, dude, if men want more control over territories, religious ideologies, cultures, places, people, what makes you think that men wouldn't want more control over women? And they did by asserting these gender roles that said men are supposed to be dominant, provide the money, resources, while women are supposed to be submissive, stay at home, answer to their husband, cook, clean, and raise the children. This is all just some misogynistic ideology, and which is going to perpetuate, right, toxic masculinity, or just men trying to gain more control.
You know something I just thought of?
What's up?
I feel like over the span of lifetime, men have been superior to women. So like I guess you could say that men are superior because we have been superior most of our lives.
Okay, what do you mean by that?
So like let's just talk about like back to the beginning. You know what I mean? Back to the beginning when, you know, we had the hunters and gatherers and stuff like that. Like men are essential. Without men, women would die. Women are not gonna go hunt the mammoth. You know what I mean?
So that's not true. I mean, like specifically in the context of like the quote unquote olden days and hunting the mammoth, we saw men and women do this together. Would you be able to provide me any evidence that it was only men doing this?
Well,
That's just a lie.
is it?
That's just men changing history.
They had the oomph to get that done. You know what I mean?
Dude, you understand that we literally have evidence to suggest that it was like both men and women hunting the mammoth together.
Really?
Yeah. If you want, I could send you over a couple of things on this. It's pretty interesting.
Dude, yeah, I'm gonna follow you right now. I've seen you multiple times, like just pop up. And then right now I'm here chilling outside this beautiful facility. It's like called House of Athletes, this gym. Just waiting for my trainer to come up over here, about to go inside. And I saw the live. I'm like, let me get in on this.
Bro, dude, I'm telling you, bro. I wish that so many like gym bros didn't hold to these toxic ideologies. Gregory, thank you for the coral. The reason I say this is because I love the gym. I love gym culture. I love working on yourself. Jesse, thank you for the $10 over Venmo. Jesse in the comment section, thank you for the $10. But it's then like these fucking men who hold to these such toxic ideologies and engage in gym culture typically that give it such a bad rap, and it's just so sad to see.
I actually am an athlete. I played football for Florida State. I'm not just a gym bro, but I do look like a gym bro, and I do hit the gym every day. So I guess you could call me a gym bro. But I don't think that it has anything to do with the gym that I think like this. I feel like it was just the way I was like brought up, like, you know, seeing my father just be like, you know, the man of the household and like taking care, like with my family, this is like everybody's different, but my parents are from Cuba, and my mom told me this herself, that she didn't know how to cook, she didn't know how to clean, she didn't know how to do any of that. But my dad, he taught her all
Chrissy,
of
thank you
that.
for the roses.
And he took care of her in that. So like that's just how I was brought up. You know what I mean? Like,
Can you tell me? Can you
my
tell me?
dad was the superior.
Can you tell me what traits men possess that women, quite frankly, don't possess that make men superior to women?
And when you mean traits, like, can you?
Yeah, what abilities do they have that women don't? I think this is just caused by socialization and norms. I don't think it's caused by like innate abilities that men have that women don't.
Testosterone.
Testosterone? So you're saying like the more testosterone you have, the more abled you are.
That's just one little part. That's just one little part.
Who's your favorite president of all time?
Just like with testosterone, I'm gonna answer that right after this. Just with testosterone, we are superior in certain things. Like let's say we need to move this box, I'm gonna move it better than than my girlfriend. You know what I mean? Like I got a little
Okay.
more
Physical strength. Physical strength.
yeah,
Sure.
physical strength.
Yeah. Do you
the
think that
president-
humanity is the superior species on Earth?
Humanity is the superior species on Earth. I say yes.
Is humanity the strongest species on Earth? Thank you for the roses,
It
TX1.
depends what you mean by strongest. What is the strongest?
Yeah, like
strongest
physically,
thing?
like physically strength, physical
Hell no.
strength.
Hell
Okay.
no.
So physical strength does
Gorilla,
not
dude.
equate
Gorilla,
to
bro?
superiority.
Yeah, you're right. You're right. So like when I saw that question, the first thing I thought of, men are superior in certain things and women are superior in certain things. Like
Yeah.
we're all put
We
on this
generally,
gifts and abilities and we all use them differently, you know?
yeah, bro. It's like, yeah, stereotypes don't necessarily like have to be bad, right? But like the way in which toxic men have formed stereotypes and pushed them on society, this is what's bad. It's like recognizing that there typically exists differences between men and women. This is not where you're misstepping. You're not wrong. This is right. But instead of recognizing these differences and highlighting people's individuals' abilities to the best, right, to serve in a society in the most productive, efficient manner, right, what we see instead, society then tries to use these differences to almost have a pissing contest over whose differences or abilities are better, or over whose differences and abilities matters more, or who's superior. Well, you got to call, man. Go on pause, Nando. Go on pause. Leave the TikTok app. There you go. Gregory! Holy crap. Thank you so much for the motorcycle. Y'all, let's get a W Gregory in the chat, y'all. Thank you so much for the motorcycle. W Gregory. W Gregory for the motorcycle, y'all.
Oh, they're going crazy, man. But yeah, dude, it just depends, dude. It depends what we're talking about. Like, I think, you know what I mean? We're all different. It's not just men and women. It's the individual. Like, the individual. We're all born equal, but what you do every day separates you and makes you superior. Like, dude, you're a smart fellow. I hear you over here. You're really good with discussions, and I wanted to ask you, what is your major? Are you in school right now?
I am. Right now, I'm kind of determining between a business major or a philosophy major.
Oh, nice, dude.
Yeah,
And,
well,
you a freshman or?
I'm a sophomore. I'm 19. But yeah, man, I appreciate you for coming up, Nando. I appreciate you for the discussion.
Hey, hit me with that follow and send me over. I want to see where like women were doing like hunting.
For sure. I'll definitely send you over some resources on that. I hit you with the follow button. Thank you for coming up, bro.
All right, brother.
Take care, Nando. Take care. Honestly, like a decent guy. Honestly, I think that there's hope for Nando. Like, see, that's just the result of someone that has been taught by society that men are superior to women, not necessarily someone that holds these beliefs intrinsically because they're misogynistic. And see, like the people like that are the people who we have hope in. What's going on? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
Well, hey, man, do you mind if I ask you a question first before I answer
Go for
that?
it.
Whenever you talk about emotion, yeah, like I'd hopped in on the last guest, so I hadn't heard, multiple guests come in. But you talk about emotion. So how do you think that? I mean, I think we're probably equally emotional, but women
I
are
disagree.
a little bit more vocal. Like they express their emotions a lot more than men do. Like I totally believe that. So I think whenever you're using statistics on how people act and, men are 95% of crime and all this stuff you're saying, I think that is the way of a man expressing emotion. But I wouldn't think that men are more emotional than women.
I'd say that men express their emotions much worse than women do. So much worse than women do. Because they express them very drastically. It's like, I guess I don't even mind accepting this idea that men and women have the same amount of emotions and they just express them differently. But like the bad thing of what we see is women will release lower levels of emotions more frequently, right? While men will release higher levels of emotions more infrequently. And women will typically release these emotions through things such as sadness, while men will typically release these things through things like anger, right?
Yeah.
So it's like, I'd say objectively speaking, I definitely prefer right, lower levels of sadness more frequently than higher levels of anger less frequently, because this results in wars getting started, people getting unalived, 95% of all violent crimes, and other similar competing statistics. And Gregory, thank you so much for the you're amazing. Thank you so much for the love, man. Thank you so much. W. Gregory, I'm gonna hit you with that follow, bro. Thank you so much.
Yeah, I mean, I'm not totally disagreeing with you. I just kind of wanted your thought process on that because I heard you mention it with the last guest. I'm kind of curious of what exactly you mean, but I'm totally on track with you. Do I agree that men are superior to women on all things considered? I'm going to say no, but I am married. I kind of understand where I'm superior to my wife in some areas, and I think probably counterintuitive to that, she may be superior in some areas. So anyway, I'm not going to sit here and intellectually debate. I just kind of wanted to get your thought process on that because I didn't hear all of it. So
Okay, thanks for coming up, man.
All right, bud.
I appreciate you. We're going to go to move on to our next guest, y'all. We're going to go to move on to our next guest, guys. If we are in the guest request, make sure we would hold to the belief that men are superior to women, all things considered, y'all. What's going on, man? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
No, I think.
Okay. Just looking for people that disagree. Thanks for coming up. We're going to go to move on to our next guest, guys. Let's go to get Dino up in here, y'all. This is such a fun topic, y'all. This is a fun topic, you guys. We get our next guest loading in. Everyone just be patient. What's up? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered? Okay, well, obviously you're not superior to anyone. You don't have vocal cords. We're going to go and move on to our next guest. Everyone just allow us a moment, y'all. Let's go to get our next guest up here, y'all. Oh, Jesus Christ. Also, guys, double tap on that phone screen and hit that follow button if you haven't already. What's going on? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
Dean, help your mom clean the house. Stop being a fucking loser on TikTok all day.
It's your profile picture, you, man. Jamie, I appreciate you for the crown. Like, I don't want to just belittle people for the way that they look, but I might.
What's wrong with that?
It's just we see associations between holding toxic and misogynistic beliefs and just being looking silly ways. So,
What's that even mean? So you're racist. I'm black. So you're racist.
No,
You're racist,
absolutely nothing
motherfucker.
about that has to do
You're
with the color of
racist.
your
You don't have your
skin.
mom clean. You're a fucking loser, communist, leftist motherfucker.
Dude,
Harry
trust
would
me,
walk all over you. Harry would walk all over you.
it has nothing to do with
You're
the
a
color
coward.
of
You
your
never
skin.
debate Harry. He would walk all over you. He'd embarrass the fuck out of you.
I don't
You're a
debate
fucking
Harry
loser.
because Harry agrees
You're
with
a
me.
piece of shit. You're a fucking leftist commie motherfucker. You're a dumb piece of shit. You need to be fucking banned from TikTok.
Okay, why are
And
you so
a weak
emotional,
little
man?
pussy bitch. That's what you are. And a coward. And a keyboard motherfucker.
if I'm
You're
a
a fucking
coward,
pussy bitch. You go fuck yourself. Your fans go fuck yourself. You're a cocksucking motherfucking bitch, piece of shit, fuckface.
okay. Do you mind if I ask you why you're so emotional?
Why are you so emotional? You little bitch.
I'm
You little
emotional.
Pussy bitch, leftist communist motherfucker. Why don't you go fucking do something?
Patrick! Yo! Patrick
Clean your
with the
house.
flying jets!
Make yourself
W
useful
Patrick with the
instead of being
flying
TikTok all
jets!
day.
W Patrick with the flying jets. Let's go! W Patrick with the flying jets. Thank you so much, man. W Patrick in the chat, y'all. Thank you so much for the flying jets. Holy W Patrick, y'all. Do you mind if I ask you specifically, like, what I said that made you think I'm a beta emotional man?
I don't use beta. It's stupid. You're just a little bitch.
Yeah, why? Why do you think I'm that?
Why? Because you're a libeler. You call the guy white supremacist. That he was talking. Just because he thinks he's better than women doesn't mean he's racist. That's just dumb.
Wait, is it wrong to call a YT supremacist a YT supremacist? He said that white people were superior to black people.
I'm talking about the other person. You brought up race, which nobody was even talking about race, and you brought it up. It was just dumb.
Because it's a great analogy, right? To show that holding certain preferences against women, like that men are superior to them because certain fields are male dominated, right? Is silly. Because we could also 1 second, because we could also show these same things are true in the dynamic between white and black people, right? A lot of these same fields are not only male dominated, but like white dominated.
Dumb.
What am I dumb? What did I say that
You're
was
so
wrong?
fucking stupid. Squirrel brain.
Yeah, what did I say that was incorrect?
You're dumb as fuck.
Would
You're
you be able to?
leftist dumb motherfucker.
I'm not a
Why don't you help your mom
leftist.
clean the house? Why don't you make yourself useful?
Would you be able to denote
You're a
specifically
typical
what I said
leftist,
that was
going
dumb?
straight to looks. That's a typical leftist move. That's why you make us normal liberals look crazy.
Okay, I'm not a
You go fuck
leftist. I'm a
yourself.
libertarian.
I'm leaving. You go fuck yourself.
Is this where you run away, or do you? I mean, I'm trying
Go
to
help
talk
your
to man.
mom. You're a little loser piece of shit. Communist fuck. You go fuck
Okay.
yourself and your fans.
I'd really like to continue to talk to you, to
I'm
kind of
not
get down to
talking.
the
You go
bottom.
fuck yourself. You're
Well,
a
it seems like you just are unwilling to engage in productive dialogue.
You're a loser piece of shit.
Okay,
Bye.
why? Why am I? Okay, well, we just provided him support. That was really weird. Yeah, we're gonna move on to our next guest. What's going on? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
No, to be honest, I just came up here because I love your content. I'm a fan.
Thank you,
I
bro.
just want to say I love your content.
Thank you so much, Harry. W. Harry's in that chat, y'all. W. Harry's, thank you so much for your support, man. We're going to move on to our next guest, Ninja, at this point, y'all. Thank you so much for your support, Harry. We got our next guest loading in right now. Everyone just allow us a second, everyone. What's up, Ninja? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
I think they're both equal.
W. Unfortunately, man, you are young, so I do have to remove you. Thank you for the sunglasses, but W fetus. It's very rare that we see a W fetus. It's very rare that we see a W fetus. It's incredibly rare that we see a W fetus. W child. W child, he said everyone's equal. Let's go. He's being raised right. Jamie, thank you for the garland. What's up? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
No, I believe women can do just as much as men.
Another W guest. Unfortunately, we are just looking for people that disagree, y'all. So if we are in the guest request, make sure that we do think that men are superior. Make sure that we are misogynists, y'all. We're just looking for some debates, but I appreciate all of you guys so much. What's up, Irene? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
No, but I wondered why you think so.
I don't think so, Irene. We agree. Thank you so much for coming up. Let's go ahead and see what our next guest has to say, guys. Let's go and see Father Finder. W. Irene, y'all. Oh, that's so cute.
Oh my god, finally.
How old are you?
I'm 22.
You're 22. Okay, do you think men are superior to women, all things considered?
Yeah, basically, yeah.
Okay, why so?
Okay, so, I know you're gonna use the same argument, about gorillas and stuff like that, but yeah, I think gorillas are superior to humans.
Okay, you haven't given me your argument yet. Do you mind giving me your argument for why you think men are superior to women?
Because they're stronger.
Who's your favorite president of all time?
I don't know shit about the presidents.
Who's your favorite leader of all time? Gregory! Oh my god!
Del Rey is my savior and leader.
Thank you so much. Okay, they're trolling. Gregory, thank you so much for the
I'm not.
Interstellar. Thank you so much for the Interstellar. Dude, W, Gregory, thank you so much for the Interstellar, man. You're incredibly kind. Y'all, W, Gregory, thank you so much for the Interstellar. Your support is fucking phenomenal, dude. I hit you with a follow back. Thank you so much, Gregory. What's going on, Wagner? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
Hey, Dean. Yeah, I do.
Okay, why so?
Just, I think you and I might define superior a little different. I mean, I know you were talking to that other guy earlier. That was kind of a weird conversation, but superior, like if you're looking at rank, status, and quality, rank, yeah, you know, particularly white men, status, same white men, quality, I think if you're looking physically, because the way white men controlled the slave trade and basically kept the bigger, stronger black men, I do think, you know. So
Yeah, this is just a bad way to define superiority, because you're gonna have to assign yourself as being a white supremacist. It's
because I heard you say that. I heard you say that to the other guy, but white supremacy is not just saying, you know, and I'm not saying that, and because I'm by no means white supremacist, but I think when you say white supremacy, it's not just saying, you know, that you think one, you know, that being white is superior. And I did say black men as well as white men. I didn't say, you know, just, you know, men in general, but you know, so white supremacy is thinking that certain people should be better and to the detriment of another race or gender or whatever. So I don't
this
think
is the same way. This is the same way that we're going to be using the word supremacy in the context of the dynamic between men and women. it's a fact of reality that men have like more power than women. In fact, this is like the reason I'm hosting the live. This is the reason feminist movements exist. This is the reason I think the way I do is to counteract this. And Jace, thank you for the $10 over Venmo, and Trina, thank you so much for the galaxy. Guys, W Jason, W Trina, I appreciate y'all so much for your support. You guys are popping off today. Thank you so much. So if you don't hold to the claim, and Trina, thank you for the second galaxy as well. That's incredibly kind of you. So yeah, if you don't think that like men have more value than women and you just hold to some like systemic definition of supremacy, like yeah, you're right, but this is just not the topic, like not the point of the discussion.
Well, I think so too, that men just have so much more power that unless men just for some reason decide to voluntarily give up their power over women, you know, even like look now, like even the birth rates have gone down. So what happens with the, you know, cis white hetero Christian men that are in control? They take away our rights to abortion. You know, that's controlling women. That's a power. We can't get that back. And like you were talking about the wage gap earlier, women.
Okay, MK, thank you for the superpower. Yeah, but we just finished talking about this. White people controlled black people during the times of slavery. Do you think that white people were superior to black people?
If you look at it as rank, status, and quality, they had an absolute power that couldn't be taken away. Even to this day, I think that's the reason we don't have universal health care is because
so you'd exist. So you're a white supremacist?
No, because we said earlier, supremacy is not just saying that white people have more control. It's the fact that you should think that they should be better. I don't think that they should be better, but I think that
do you think that men should have more power than women?
No, but I don't think they'll ever give it up, ever, because I mean they have the control over the law.
I do appreciate you for coming up. Thank you so much, Wagner. However, like I was kind of started to think that you do understand why I'm hosting this live, and you're just intentionally misrepresenting it. What's going on, Nashawn? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
Yeah.
Okay, why so?
I would say because men hold all the positions that keep society in order.
Okay. Yeah, like the fact that we've never had a woman president.
Yeah, basically, not just that, like all the industries that keep society how it is.
Okay. Yeah, would you be able to mute the fetus?
Mute the fetus? What's that?
Like go into a different room or something. I'm sorry.
Oh, my fault. Hold on.
Yeah, you're good, man. You're good. You're good. You're good. You're good. So yeah, I mean, so you're saying that men are disproportionately way more likely than women to be in like leadership positions, societally speaking, and this is why men are superior. However, like white people are disproportionately more likely than black people.
Oh shit! Hold on.
I can only deal with so much, chat. I can only deal with so much. I was trying to give him good grace. We're just gonna move on to our next guest, everyone. I can only deal with so much. Trina, thank you for the crowd. Holy fuck. I can only deal with so much. Homie's house got on fire. I think that was a fire alarm. I think that like was genuinely a fire alarm going off. We're going to go and move on to our next guest, guys. Who we are in the guest request. Make sure that we do think men are superior to women, all things considered. We actually have a guest that we're talking to earlier before we got banned. Welcome back. I know that we were discussing earlier, but then the live got taken down. You do think that men are superior to women, all things considered. Do you want to go ahead and recap as to why you think this?
I do, yeah. So I think that men are superior to women, and I think that it shows, society shows that by paying women less than men, just as one example. And like I mentioned before, men are quite stronger than women scientifically. So, you know, when it comes to providing, it's a lot easier for them. And
yeah, I think this wage gap isn't caused by the fact that men are more abled. I think it's caused by misogyny. And like systemic forms of oppression. Well, Gregory with another interstellar. Oh my God, dude. W Gregory popping off. W Gregory in the chat, y'all. Gregory in the chat, y'all.
The other point that I did want to make, it kind of falls into that a little bit, but men allowed women to have rights.
Okay, I think there's perfect analogies to dispute what you're saying here. So I want to go ahead and touch on the first point. You've made 3. We'll get around to the second 2. But on the first point, you said men are superior to women because men get paid more than women. I'd say men do not get paid more than women because men are better able than women. Men get paid more than women because women face forms of systemic oppression and misogyny. Would you disagree?
Yes.
Okay.
No. Yeah. I would actually.
So you would disagree. So you would think it's because, well, men are quite literally better able than women. Do you think that white people are better able than black people?
Do you want me to be honest?
Yes.
Not necessarily. No, I think that both white men and, black men and white women and black women are given the same, abilities. Like, we're all able to function the same. I mean,
Dude,
we're not able to
this
function the
isn't
same.
real. Not necessarily? What do you mean when you say that?
Well, I just think that, black men and white men have, more power over black and white women. And I think
Okay.
that
So this is an analogy. So we're no longer referring to any dynamic between men and women, right? In the context of this analogy, we're referring to a dynamic between all white people and all black people. So do you think that all white people white people are generally better able than black people? Yes or no?
no.
Okay. So, but what we see is that even a larger pay gap exists between white and black people than there exists between men and women. And if you don't think this pay gap is caused by systemic forms of oppression or men just simply having more opportunity in the context of men and women, well, why would you not hold that to also be the case in the context of white people?
Well, I
and
do
black people?
actually. When it comes to why, maybe white people may make more than, black people, I think it honestly has a lot to do with what you're willing to bring to the table. You see, I don't even know how to put this, but just like the other guy up here was saying, you see a lot of white people, like white men, as the CEO, the creators of things, the people that are making the most money because they put the work in, they're putting the effort in. And it's not like they were just given. And same thing like the guy said, if I was to apply it to Harvard tomorrow.
So do you think that black people are lazier than white people?
Not necessarily. I just don't think that
This
they're
is
going to.
this is the reduction of your claim. 1 second. This is the reduction of your claim.
What is?
Yeah, the statement white people or black people are lazier than white people is a reduction of your claim, which is absolutely absurd. I think it's just so absurd to say. Gregory, thank you for the gold mine. That somehow women are lazier or don't apply themselves as much as men, or black people are lazier or don't apply themselves as much as white people. These are the reductions of your claims, because if you don't recognize systemic forms of oppression, if you don't recognize inequities and inequalities experienced in context of opportunity granted to specific demographics, right, you'd have no other reason to explain things like the wage gap. You'd have no other reason to explain all these fields of leadership that are dominated by men or dominated by white people. Your only explanatory measure would be able to, would just basically to concede to race realism and say somehow white people are just biologically predispositioned to be more driven than white people, or the same could be said in the context of men and women. But of course, these are not true claims, and we know they're not true, right? Given the fact of lack of any scientific evidence to suggest that these are the case, and also given the fact that when we observe societies that have different social dynamics, i.e. it's not necessarily the man in power, or i.e. it's not necessarily white people in power, we would still observe those in which would hold the most power to be dominating positions of leadership in STEM-related fields, and those in which have the least amount of power to be the minority in positions of power, or the minority in STEM-related fields, right? Joshie, I appreciate you for the galaxy. Thank you so much, right? So what this shows is it's not about one sex or gender being lazier or more productive than the other, or one race being lazier or more productive than the other, right? We just see it all has to do with power dynamics, and those in which have the power, right, tend to be in positions of leadership more than those that don't, because of inequities and opportunity.
All right. So let's go back to the point you just made. So you just said that I said that, white men are more driven than black men. And I also supposedly said that women are, less driven than men, which actually didn't come out of my mouth. That came out of
Okay. So then why do you think the pay gap exists? Why do you think we've only had one black president? Why do you think that 92% of Fortune 500 CEOs are white men? Why do you think men dominate STEM-related fields? Why do you think men dominate these things?
Right, I understand. So if I bring this back to my first point again, men gave women rights.
Can you answer my question? I just asked you a series of questions and I want you to answer them.
Are you gonna
I
keep
want you
talking?
I want you to answer my questions with all
Are
due
you going to keep
respect.
talking or am I going to answer? So men gave women rights. So here we go. This brings me back. This concludes the whole thing. Men gave women rights. Okay. So men are superior in the society that we live in. Men gave us rights. Therefore, they are the leaders in the society. That is why a lot of men are CEOs. A lot of men are the hierarchies in companies or in businesses or in anything in general, because they started with the power, so they are going to proceed to be in the same power, whether that's within a job force or anything else. They gave us power and they're going to remain in power.
Yeah. So I don't like the implication of the language, like men gave women rights. No, women fought for their rights. But like in a similar sense, if all these things that you were saying about the dynamic between men and women are true, would you say that they'd also be true between in the context of the dynamic between white and black people? In the same way, it's like men who gave women rights, right? Would you say it was like white people who gave black people rights? Okay, so you would say this is also true of the relationship between white and black people. Would you say that at the dawn of society, right, as we know it, like in the context of the U.S., like white people held the power? This should be true given slavery. Gregory, thank you for the glowing jellyfish. Thank you so much, man. You're going off tonight, Gregory. Gregory.
Do I think that white people gave black people power? Yes.
So do you think that white people are superior to black people? Because it seems like these are the same reasons that you use to justify why men are superior to women.
No, and that's not even the same topic.
What's the distinction?
Race. We're not talking about race. We're talking about gender.
You're naming the categories. That's not a distinction.
Huh?
I'm asking you for the distinction. All in which you've said of the dynamic between men and women, right, which would reduce down to men just having more power than women, and they've always had more power than women.
White people
could
do have
also
more
be
power
said in the
than
context
black
of white
people,
and black people. So
They
if these
do.
things are also true between the dynamic of white and black people, right, why does the conclusion that white people are not superior to black people follow?
Because it's just not true. Because
It's okay. Do you mind explaining on why? Of course, I agree with you, but add nuance to the conversation so we could wrap it back around to the original topic. Why is that claim not true, that white people are superior to black people? Be more specific.
Because that's just how it is. That the two don't correlate.
I don't see you adding any nuance. I'm asking you to be more specific and explain why white people are not superior to black people. Once again, I agree with you, but the nuance is important.
Black people, because white people are not more superior than black people, because they're just simply not. Because white people and black people were given the same opportunity. Okay, we're given the same opportunity. Both parties are using the opportunity to do as they please. That is why they are in the same field. Like, we are in the same ballpark. You know?
Okay.
It's different when it's a black man and a white man. Yes, they have they're more superior than black women, white women. There you go. That's the whole conversation.
If black people
man is more superior
have
than a
the
white
same
woman,
opportunity, if black people have the same amount of opportunity as white people, then how do you explain that virtually all forms of societal leadership are dominated by white people?
How do I think what?
If white and black people have the same opportunity, then why is leadership in society in all contexts dominated by white people? Gregory with a meteor shower. Thank you so much, man. W. Gregory.
Because
W. Gregory, y'all. Thank you so
men-
much. W. Gregory. Thank you so much for the meteor shower.
White men have been not now, but they were leaders for a very, very long time of the entire country for a very, very, very long time. That is why white.
When did this just reduce down to the claim? Therefore, white men have more opportunity to be leaders.
If you listen to what I said, you'd say, not now, but before, for a long time.
Then why don't
this
we
is
see?
why we listen.
Then why don't we see equity in leadership between white and black people now? Right now, we see a disproportionate amount of white people in positions
Because
of
white
leadership.
men have run this country for so long, they're not going to step down in their
Okay. So therefore, you would agree that white men have more opportunity to lead than black men.
No.
Well, if they had the
Black
same
men,
opportunity to
literally,
lead,
you know
we'd
what? Let's
expect
bring
to
it back
see-
to the point that the other guy made as well.
One second. I want to draw
Who's
on
going to
this.
go to Harvard? Me
I
or
wanna-
the black guy
I
next to me?
wanna
Probably the
draw
black
on
guy
this.
next to me. And he's probably going to get a full ride too.
Okay,
They're looking for diversity.
Um,
They ain't looking for white people.
Wait, certain diversity, right, standards are a good thing. Why? Because when we promote like some levels of diversity in
But
the
if we're gonna
context of,
talk
do you mind if I
about who
finish?
has more opportunity, black
Thank
people
you.
have more
Do you mind if I finish? Gregory, thank you so much for the meteor shower. W Gregory, the meteor shower. Do you mind if I finish at this point? Like
Go ahead.
diversity, like these diversity standards in the context of these institutions is a good thing. Why? Because like these standards are just resemblant upon like the demographics that we observe in society as a whole. Like, let's say if like 30% of people are black in the context of a society, well, then we would hold this same standard in the context of a given institution. Why? Not only does this make things fair, i.e., for every white person that gets into this school, proportionately speaking, a black person will, right? But it's all proportionate based upon, right, society as a whole. And then further yet, teaching people diversity and how to work with other individuals that may not align with certain facts of their identity is an educational tool, right? To make people smarter, to treat people to be inclusive, to make people
Yeah,
better
so let's
people.
make this
And at the end of the day, it is these things in which are the goals of the
right to everywhere they
institutions.
go, because they're minorities. Yes, let's make it make sense.
Wait, repeat that?
Exactly what I said. Your point is that yes, diversity, which yes, I agree, diversity is a phenomenal thing. In every single place, schools, workplaces, everything should have diversity. But if you want to bring it back to that claim, why are we going to say, okay, these white people are not going to get into Harvard. Screw the white people trying to go to Harvard. Let's just make it completely diverse and give every single other person the opportunity to go to this
Screw
school.
the white people trying to get into Harvard. Vast majority of all people that go to Harvard are white.
And look how much they're paying compared to the other minorities that are there. Look at the statistics.
There wouldn't be like imbalances dependent upon like so your like status as a minority. I don't think, and then further yet, right? I think it's important to denote that when we're speaking in the context of like lower levels of education, such as like high school, elementary, middle, and primary schools, like we do understand in the context of public schooling system that white students would proportionally get much more funding, right, for their education than black students. It's like, and this is abundantly true. I think it's like for every dollar that a white student gets in terms of funding, a black student gets about a quarter.
What's the sources?
We could look at Pew Research. This would just have to do with like socioeconomics, geographically speaking, and where we would see like regions of more typically like black people located in comparison to the funding in which their schools are getting. So it's like we could look at like Pew Research and other similar centers, right? And like it's easily concluded that like a white person literally gets more funding on average than a black person in the context of public schooling. This is a fact of reality, and the only reason that you don't accept it isn't because it's wrong or isn't because there's not enough evidence to suggest that it's true. It's because you possess a confirmation bias, right? So if you could just simply say that it's not true that white students get more funding than black students in public schooling, I could just simply say it's not true that a black person is more likely to get into Harvard than a white person.
But I just don't think that your claim is the same as mine. And I also don't know where you're getting these sources from. Or if
I already told you, Pew Research. I told you the claim.
I'm about to look this up. Because I don't know where you're from, but that is not the case over here.
It's gonna be like a generalized statement
If
based
you're
upon
looking
like
in
what's true about the
specific
whole
areas,
nation.
of course, some areas are lower income than other areas.
Wait, you understand that this is just like a socioeconomic issue? Like schools in richer places get more funding. Do you disagree with this?
That's what I just said, yes.
Okay, so schools in richer places
So
get more
black people
funding.
can't go to a nice
So
school,
what
which is what you're
what we
saying.
typically see is that there's disproportionately more white people in richer places than black people. So it's just going to be like logically deduced that schools in which are more typically black than typically white would get less funding than schools in which are more typically white than typically black. If it follows that schools in higher status areas, as depicted through socioeconomics, get more funding, and there's more white people than black people in these areas, and more black people than white people in areas in which have lower socioeconomic standings, it's just going to simply follow that schools in which have black people more typically than white people would get less funding.
Why are we on this race thing that you do with everyone else when your post literally says, why are men superior to women?
Holy pivot. Wow. Oh,
Because I
dude.
can't argue with you about the most dumb, the stupidest shit I've heard all day. It's like,
Gagged, I fear.
Yeah,
Are you
no.
gaslighting me because you have no response?
I do have a response, but you're not going to like it. And I'm not arguing with someone who doesn't listen. I can't argue with someone who just speaks and speaks and speaks. You want to sit up here and fight for women's right, then let the women speak. So let's pivot this back to the topic of discussion. Why are men superior to women? Men gave us rights.
Earlier, you said that white people gave black people rights, but you don't think white people are
And they
superior
did.
to black people.
Correct. And that doesn't correlate because race
If it
and
doesn't,
gender-
if it doesn't correlate in the context of race, why would it correlate in the context of sex?
because they're two different topics.
Yeah. So what actually? I'm asking you a question. If it doesn't correlate in the context of race, why does it correlate in the context of sex? Right? What is true of
Because
the context of sex that
men
makes it correlate?
versus
One second.
women-
One second. I'm almost done. What is true, right, of the context between men and women that this would correlate? That is not true of the context between white people and black people that would make it not correlate.
Because men versus women, men and women have many different traits, abilities, completely different. They do different things. We are so different in so many physical ways, physical, emotional ways. Black people and white people are just not different in that way. We are all, at the end of the day, that's exactly what it is.
Okay, yeah. So what differences exist between men and women that are relevant in the distinction that men are superior?
The pay gap, the strength, ability,
Okay.
status.
So the pay gap also exists between white people and black people. Status also exists between white people and black people. The only thing that does not exist between white people and black people would be strength. So this is going to be the only relevant difference, correct? Is strength.
No, they're all relevant.
But see what I mean? I'm asking you for the distinction between the dynamic of men and women and like the dynamic of white people and black people. And like two of the three things in which you just said are true of both dynamics, therefore they're not a distinction. The only thing that you said that was true of only one dynamic was physical strength, right? Because men are typically stronger than women, but like, you know, white people aren't typically stronger than black people or the inverse. So if that's just the relevant distinction, is the fact that men are superior to women because they're physically stronger, well, this just is not going to follow. It's like, who's your favorite president of all time?
My favorite president of all time is probably George Washington.
Okay, and who's stronger, George Washington or a 17-year-old high school dropout injecting steroids 3 times a day that can bench press 450 pounds to
George
cope
Washington.
with his recent breakup?
George Washington. George Washington
George-
is natural.
So George Washington can bench press more than 450 pounds?
Yes, he can.
Okay, so are you starting to like be funny, introduce
I'm not
comedy
trying
into
to
the
be
debate because
funny.
you're losing?
And God also put Adam. That's what happens when you make an argument that you can't back up. God put Adam on this earth before he put Eve. Let's start there.
Dude, the minute you mention God, it seems like he smited you. It seems like God doesn't want you to be using his name to justify
He came down and
misogyny.
gave me a blessing just now, please.
No, literally the second you said God's name, he fucking smited you down. I don't think he wants you using
God
his
did
name
not
to
do that.
justify
Don't
stereotypes
talk
and
about God like
misogyny.
that. He didn't do that. Don't talk about him like
He
that.
did. That was a miracle, man. That was that was a
Exactly.
a
He said,
miracle.
"Thank God, thank me that you're using me to prove an argument. Thank
Your
God."
friend is laughing at you. Your friend is laughing so hard at you.
Are you laughing at me? No, I'm laughing at the fact that the whole fucking thing came down.
Okay, so we're gonna get back on track here. We're gonna
agree,
get
though?
back
Do you
on track
agree,
here.
Fred? Yes.
So
Do
you're
you
saying
agree
that God?
Who do you
You're saying
agree
that God
with?
put.
Me
You're saying that.
or Don?
I don't know what the fuck you're saying. You're saying that God put Adam on the world first, so therefore Adam is superior to Eve.
Yes.
I think that's fiction. I think it's a fairy
I
tale.
don't think that's fiction.
Okay, so if it's not fiction, right, the genealogy laid out from Adam to Jesus is about 6,000 years. You could reference the Bible for this. This means that
Okay,
Adam
but
was on
Adam
Earth. One second, sorry, 4,000 years. Then from Jesus to us is 2,000. So this would mean that Adam was on Earth 6,000 years ago. But the Earth is like billions of years old, and we could prove this through sedimentary rock layering and carbon dating. We know that the Earth is not 6,000 years old. Therefore, we know the story of Adam and Eve in the Christian Bible is false.
Where are you getting that the Christian Bible is false? Like, who told you that?
Like the given story of Adam and Eve would not follow, given the
Came down
fact
and
that
told me, just like he came down and told me to use him. as our-
the Bible like explains the genealogy from Adam to Jesus. In the context of the Bible, it tells us like who was whose parent, who was whose kid. It tells us the genealogy, and it also tells us their ages. Go read Genesis 2. And if we add up all those ages in the context of that genealogy, what we see is that there's 4,000 years between the moment Adam was put on earth and the moment Jesus was put on earth. Right? And then, of course, from Jesus to us is another 2,000. So this means that Adam was on Earth 6,000 years ago. But the first human was not on Earth 6,000 years ago. We could like literally carbon date human skulls that are like older than that, right?
So
and
who's
Prada,
the-
thank you so much for the subscription.
So who was put on Earth first?
Oh my fucking God. So this is not a response to anything I just said. You just attempted to use the Christian Bible, right, to dictate that men are superior. And I just gave you an incredibly convincing case for why at least that single story of the Christian Bible is not historical fact.
But it is a historical fact because
If it's a historical fact, then why do we have skulls from humans that date earlier than 6,000 years ago when the Bible tells us that the first human was on Earth
How are we gonna
6,000 years ago?
how are we gonna believe that? How are we gonna believe, quote unquote, science that shows up, 6,000 years ago? And there's no actual.
Gregory, thank you so much for the meteor shower.
If we're talking about the Bible,
Thank
as
you
it's
so much for the
just a
meteor
book,
shower,
why are we
W.
gonna
Gregory.
believe just a book that says, "Oh, we found a skull 6,000 years ago"?
Wait, there's a multitude of evidence to suggest this. And it doesn't only come from like one person, one institution. Like literally anyone could go learn how to carbon date or understand sedimentary rock layering or understand like oceanic crusts or how they would form. Gregory going in with a unicorn. W. Gregory. Holy shit, y'all. Gregory, you are showing so much fucking love. Please, dude, I'm going to message you when I'm off the live. W. Gregory for all the love. I'm incredibly grateful for you. Thank you so much for supporting me in what I'm doing. If anyone else wants to support me, y'all, I do have my Venmo, my PayPal, my bio. You'll get your own notification at the top of my screen. I'll read out your dono. You could even attach a message. But I appreciate you so much for your love, Gregory. But anyways, back on track. So we know that humans are older than 6,000 years, given like carbon dating. Right? This can be done by institutions of science. This can be done by governments, but it could also be done by third parties. It could be done by you. It could be done by me. Right? We could also understand like rock layering and how long it takes for these sedimentary rocks to layer. And like this would tell us that the Grand Canyon is billions of years old. Right? And any of these facts of reality are just completely right, not consistent with the Christian narrative as described in Genesis.
I just don't understand how you're gonna sit up here and say that the Bible is just this book that's like false and not real, but you're still gonna sit here and
So you're ignoring all the science and all the facts. Do you want? Okay, I'm gonna give you an internal critique because effectively your response was I don't trust science. Which was bullshit. I'm gonna go ahead and give you an internal critique of your own faith. Did God create humanity to be perfect, to not sin?
No.
So God created humanity to sin. So God wanted us to sin. God desired evil.
Absolutely.
Is God all good?
No.
Okay, so now you're a heretic. The Bible tells us that he's all good.
No. He says that everybody makes mistakes.
Wait, I'm so sorry. Can a perfect being make a mistake?
Yes.
Wait, but perfection would specifically imply, right, that mistakes would be impossible. If something is 100%, one second, I could give you examples of this. If someone is a perfect free throw shooter in the context of basketball, does this mean that they've ever missed a free throw shot?
Yes.
Okay, so you can miss a free throw shot and be a perfect free throw shooter.
Yes.
How do you can you define perfect for me?
Really good.
Really good. No, we
Not-
see an
not
obvious distinction
phenomenal.
between really good and perfect.
Yes. But
Okay,
you need to be really
if
good at
if
order-
I'm perfect at spelling and I misspell a word, am I still perfect at spelling?
Yes.
What does it mean to be perfect at spelling?
Really good.
No, really good and perfection are two different concepts. Perfection would imply 100% completeness, right? And if you're 100% complete in the context of your spelling abilities, this would mean
And
you
the
cannot
dictionary
misspell.
doesn't- We made that up as well. So how do we know what perfect means?
Oh my dear God. So now, so you also said that your God's not all good.
He's phenomenal. Yeah, he's great.
So the Bible tells us that God's not all good.
And he's not perfect, but he's so great.
He's not God. Okay, God's not perfect. The Bible tells us that he's perfect. Would you like a verse?
Yes, I would like a verse.
2 Samuel 22:31 and Psalms 18:30. They both declare that God is perfect.
They declare, God did not declare.
Okay, so now you're saying that the Bible is wrong. So if the Bible is wrong, right? So then, so you just said that the Bible can be wrong, given the fact that you reject certain scripture. So if the Bible can be wrong and you could reject certain scripture, why can't I just simply reject the narrative of Adam and Eve to dispute your original claim that this is what makes men superior to women?
I mean, you can do that, but it's just not accurate.
Yeah, what's the distinction between rejecting scripture in which calls God perfect and rejecting scripture in which God put Adam on the earth before Eve?
Because that
TM,
just-
thank you for the $10 over Venmo. King, thank you so much. W Team in the chat, thank you so much for the $10 over Venmo. Chat, should we skip?
Hello?
Goodbye. Yeah, we're just gonna skip. They were just yapping. They were high key yapping. They were high key yapping. Yo, shit, Tashika's in the guest request, y'all. Should Tashika come up for a little bit of a co-host, y'all? Let me know. I didn't see her until right now, y'all. How do you guys feel about that? What's up, Devontae? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
Oh, no, I wasn't really here for any of that. I really just wanted to speak to the person that was talking about the whole equal opportunities and the
Well,
black person just getting into school just because they were black. So
I appreciate you for coming up, Devontae.
Yeah,
I absolutely
I'll
agree
let
with you.
you go.
Unfortunately, I'm just looking for people that debate, to debate on the subject. W Devontae, yeah, let's go and get Baby Bob up here, y'all. Let's go to get Baby Bob up here. And let's go to get our next guest up here as well, y'all. If we are in the guest request, make sure we specifically disagree. and
Really
do think that they're
quickly,
superior
really
to women.
quickly, Dean. Do you think this is a fucking joke?
What the fuck is good, Tashika? This is not a fucking joke.
You're acting funny right now. You
How
got
am I
a
acting
jokester.
funny? What am I joking about, Tashika?
I've been sitting in them fucking guest requests for 30 minutes.
Bro, I was talking to that guest for 45. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry, Tashika.
You want to throw hands, young bull?
Listen, you're up here now, and we're gonna forget about our past and we're
Okay.
gonna look towards the future.
Oh, okay. That's
I'm
such
manipulating. I'm
a.
manipulating.
Yep. Believe
Yep.
what you want to believe, Dean.
Believe what you.
Yeah.
yeah. What's up, Dazzy? Do you think men are superior to women, all things considered? Okay, Dazzy's mute, so. Can't speak, no vocal cords, man. Unfortunate. Let's go to get our next guest, Luke S4T, up here. Ladies and gentlemen.
Yes.
Ladies and gentlemen.
I couldn't do it.
Hello,
I couldn't
Luke.
join it, bro. Oh,
Do you think that men are superior to women? Okay, Luke dipped. Moving on to our next guest, guys.
Luke.
Luke,
just-
hello.
You can't do
You
this,
are
Luke.
one of my elite employees. All right, we're gonna move on to our next guest here, guys. Everyone, just allow us a moment.
Thank you, guys.
All right, guys. Guys, just be patient while we do get our next guest up here. Keep in mind, we are just looking for people that do disagree. I'm
He's still
really
up here,
close.
Dean.
I'm really close. I'm really close to the camera. What's up, Shauna? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
No, I just wanted to talk to Boogie Woogie and see what the fuck.
I do apologize. Just looking for people that do disagree.
We don't know who.
Moving on to our next guest here, chat. Just looking for people that specifically disagree. Ladies and gentlemen, please don't waste my time. I love you. Don't waste my time. I love you. What's up, Sunshine? Do you think that men are superior to women, considering all? Okay, Sunshine does not possess vocal cords, unfortunately.
It seems like
Sunshine does not possess vocal cords, unfortunately, chat. Vocal cords, unfortunately. What's up, Mama Biggs? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered? Bro, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, mommy.
Bro, this is ridiculous. This is absolutely ridiculous.
Hello.
Mama Biggs, you gotta go into a different room.
Don't hide. Okay, well, don't do it hard anymore.
Blue Man, do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
Yeah, I do.
No.
Dude, this is ridiculous.
You know what,
I'm
Dean?
so sorry, Chad. Everyone just be patient. I don't know why there's so many trolls. Just give us a moment. What's up, Sleepy? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
It
Bro.
might be me, Dean. It might be me.
Dude,
sorry.
this started the moment you came up. El Tashika in the chat, y'all. El Tashika in the chat. El Tashika in the chat,
It's
everyone.
because I'm black. You've been doing it this entire
Bro,
time.
bro, okay.
There's
you cannot
literally-
throw on that pre-qualifier
There's
after I
literally,
say El
but there's
Tashika.
literally no other distinction.
That's funny.
What's up, Cash King? Do you think that men are superior to women, considering all?
Yep.
Can you come closer to your mic?
Yes.
Bro,
Okay,
why are you
can you
mocking
disconnect your Bluetooth devices?
Bluetooth. Can you not hear me?
Not
I haven't got
super
Bluetooth.
well.
Yeah.
Okay,
Can
so
you hear me now?
yeah, so why do you think men are superior to women?
Why do I think men are superior than women? Physically, they are, and mentally as well.
How do we define physical superiority?
And hang on, let me explain. Don't jump. Let me
I'm
just,
sorry.
just
I'm
say
sorry.
what I've got to say.
I didn't
Right.
mean to.
So basically, yeah, like throughout human history, even the ones that wrote the book of, the ones that they call early books, right? They.
Your audio is not good enough for you to be yapping like this, bro.
Yeah, we're just gonna move on.
The fuck?
I was trying to give him the benefit of the doubt, but that was just getting lost. That
The
was just
attention
getting
span
lost.
was crazy.
Yeah, guys. Everyone, just a minute. Give us a minute, guys. We will get a debate going. Just be patient. Also, guys, make sure that you're hitting that follow button, guys. Hit that. If this button right here is red, y'all, make sure to hit that shit. Turn it white. What's up? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
Yeah, I think women, or no, my bad. I think men are superior.
Okay, why so?
Simply because I say that most women, they run off of emotions, and men, we just run off of. Most men run off of instinct.
What sort instinct? That sounds like okay. So what
Emotions?
Source, yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, what evidence do you have to demonstrate this? Like at all? Like I need to know where this notion came. I know where it came from actually, but I just want to know where you get this from.
I mean, look at the world nowadays.
It would
I mean-
demonstrate that men are more emotional. Yes, I would agree.
No, I wouldn't say that we're more emotional.
Would you be
We would
able?
say that-
Would you be able to give me a demonstration in the context of society that clearly shows that women are more emotional than men?
Yeah, so easily, let's just bring it to one of the basic terms. I say baby mamas and baby daddies. Baby mamas, they just because they mad at their mama or mad at their daddy, the baby daddy, they won't let the daddy go see the child just because they emotional, feel like the dad ain't taking care of them.
Did this happen to you? That's not your baby in the background?
I also want to point it out there that there was one of these baby daddies, right, that got stuck with the 3 kids, and he didn't want their mama to see them so much that he blew up his house with gasoline, unaliving them all.
I remember.
So
Yeah, there's and there's cases of them. There's cases on both sides. Like, what I'm saying? Like
Okay,
I
so
said,
if there's cases on both sides, then you can't make this claim, dude.
well, then then you would say why are men superior? Then I mean, you got men that can beat up women and women that can beat up men. So technically, we technically equal in a sense, but in like a majority is
sure,
more.
you're talking about propensities. You're talking about propensities to do so. So honestly, man, maybe you're starting to change my mind, right? I mean, we're thinking about like societal roles in which clearly show women being more emotional than men. Would you say the fact that vast majority of people who self-unalive are women, this clearly shows that women are more emotional because suicide would be indicative of high levels of emotion?
So you're saying that? Yeah, basically, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
Okay. Wait, he's really starting to change my mind here, chat.
Shit. Hold on. He's eating.
Let's go to look at he's eating. Let's go to take a look at a few other things. So like substance abuse, like abusing hard drugs, right? So like this is a coping mechanism to deal with unprocessed emotions. And like vast majority of all substance abuse is committed by women. So does the fact that like women commit the vast majority of substance abuse just show that they're more emotional?
Well, I'm not gonna lie.
Gregory with the lightning.
I'm not too
Gregory
big.
with the lightning. Let's go. W Gregory in the chat.
Gregory,
Dude.
put your retirement fund to the side, dude.
Oh, dude, don't talk on Gregory. Dude, don't be fucking Gregory. Don't disrespect Greg. Don't disrespect Greg. Thank you so much for the lightning. I appreciate you so much, Gregory.
Gregory
Gregor's
eating,
in
though.
that chat. You're so incredibly kind, dude. Thank you so much. So yeah, would you say that because we observe like vast majority of all substance abuse, which is an unhealthy coping mechanism to deal with unprocessed emotions being done by women, that this is also indicative of women being more emotional than men?
Yeah, technically, but I won't know like the biggest. You probably know more than me on the scientific facts.
So you said
but
yeah.
you know what I'm saying?
Wait, but
So,
I mean,
but-
you absolutely
agree?
would say the fact that more women self-unalive than men is indicative of women being more emotional, correct?
Oh yeah,
Absolutely. Okay,
Yeah.
I gaslit the fuck out of you, bro. In fact, I'm a bad guy. I lied. I completely fucking lied. 82% of all suicides are done by men.
Fucking
Vast
got
majority
him!
of all substance abuse too. You just said undoubtedly the fact that majority of suicides are committed by women, it would attest to the fact that they're more emotional. No,
Well,
no,
look,
no, no, no.
look,
Vast
look,
majority
look,
of all
look. Got him.
suicides are committed by men.
See, but
Got him.
look. Let's say this.
Got
Let's say
him.
this.
Gagged, I
Consider-
fear.
I say.
No.
From
Sir,
me growing
sir.
up, right?
Hey, now we're not going to use anecdotes now because you can no longer substantiate your claims. We're not going to use anecdotes now.
Because he technically is proving me right that women, science can say that men.
Yo!
But see, look, when you go
Yo,
into,
thank you guys for the gifts. And W Parker raid. Yo, let's get a W Parker in the chat. Huge fucking shout out, Mr. Parker, right now. Thank you so much for the love, man. W Parker's in that chat, everyone. W freaking Parker's in that chat, you guys.
Senor Parky Poo.
So would you like to
So-
go ahead and explain the fact that you said undoubtedly the fact that
So
most
look.
of one second. Would you like to go ahead and explain the fact that you said because women commit most suicides, this is undoubtedly evidence of them being more emotional?
I mean, what I
And
see in
fact-
the world,
Dude,
though, is
hey! I'm not done talking. You could talk as soon as I'm done, right? When in all reality, this was simply nothing more than a lie. I gaslit you, right? So this would be evidence of women being more emotional in this hypothetical world where they commit suicide more. Katie, thank you for the subscription, right? Wouldn't this be evidence of men being more emotional in the very real world where men commit suicide more?
I can speak now.
I asked you a question.
Okay, then. Okay, so like I said, I mean, from what I see though, especially for me,
Okay, what was the question he just asked you?
Can I answer?
I thought you were going to repeat the same shit you just said. Okay, go ahead.
Okay, then. So like again, like I said, what I see that men, when you go, especially when I go into school and stuff, right? When I graduate, before I graduate elementary, all of this, when you go look, you see that it's women cutting their wrists,
No,
right? Off of emotional
Holy cow.
things. When I was
Yeah, no,
these are-
I've actually seen more men engage in that as well. But
Well,
the
I
thing
guess
is
that
about
depends
men
on where we
engaging
live
in. I'm still speaking. I'm still speaking.
where
I'm
you
still
live in.
speaking. So the way that
You're not the
way
host.
that men,
Hold on. What?
but I'm here though, right? So I'm gonna speak.
Co-host.
Anyway, so yeah, so like the way that men engage in self-harm is typically a lot more violent because of this like propensity to violence that men have within our society and the way that they are socialized.
There's
right?
more men
but
than
men
women,
definitely do self-harm in these
There's
ways.
more men than
Just
women.
because I'm still speaking.
There's
And
more
there's
men
actually
than
more women than men.
No,
so,
there's more men than women.
Go off. Anyway,
In the
so
world,
I'm
yes.
gonna tell you demonstrably false. Right? So
Okay.
again, right, when men engage in self-harm, right, men and women typically engage in different types of self-harm. So for you to say that is women who typically engage in this particular type of self-harm is irrelevant, right?
Well, you
There
cut
are
me
other
off before I
ways that
could
men
finish.
typically do these things.
You cut me
And
off before I
also, and
finish.
also, again, right? I don't know if I would even care to hear what the rest of like what you're going to say here, right? Because you're citing your own personal experiences, and your own personal experiences are
Are you
unfalsifiable,
citing your own
right?
personal experiences,
They
or
are.
are you,
I'm
government?
still speaking. I'm still speaking, right? So you're
Oh, she must be
you're
a scientific government experiment or something. She must know everything. Or are you citing your own experiences?
No, I'm not
Your
citing
own
my own.
opinions.
I explicitly do not cite my own experiences, right?
Oh, okay.
So yeah, so like your personal experiences, like I said before, are unfalsifiable, right?
Yep.
And there's no way for you to account for any kind of biases in the way that you perceive
Go
the
to
world
Asia.
around you.
Go to Asia. I guarantee that there's more women killing themselves just because they cannot be, just because they're not a man, just because their family don't accept them.
I have
But
a
there's
question.
more women
Hey,
literally
Richie.
causing suicide. Are we speaking about the entire world? Or are we
I got a
speaking about
question here.
America?
I got a question here. Let's just sum all this up because you're not engaging with like the argumentation which Tashika's providing to you. You're very rudely interrupting her as well. Rachel! Thank you for the whale dive. W
I'm
Rachel
also
in the
being cut
chat.
off.
Thank you for the whale dive. W fucking Rachel, y'all. So I think that we're just gonna demonstrate this point very easily, right? So I don't know if you know who Mr. fucking Gregory is. Right, Mr. Gregory has been supporting me all night. In fact, he's been supporting me so much that I almost
Congratulations,
have
Greg.
quite a few bucks to wager. Right, so let's see. I from this live made about $200. Okay, so I'm gonna wager you $200. If you could provide me a single academic study done right on the neurology of men and on the neurology of women that would specifically indicate that women are biologically predispositioned to be more emotional than men, I'll give you $200.
Periods. Their blood periods, the periods that they cause a month.
I asked
Yeah.
you for an academic study to indicate
That's an
that
academic
women,
study.
I
that's
asked
just a
you for an
statement.
I asked you for an academic study to indicate, right, that women are biologically predispositioned to be more emotional than men. For $200, are you able to provide me an academic study?
Yes, the academic study is the fact that they have a period every single month that causes them to have emotional
What's this?
distress.
What's this academic studies DOI?
Because after what I experienced, every woman that come up to me,
Wait,
they
what,
said
one
that
second.
they're very emotional.
Rock.
Are
What's
they
an
emotional
academic
because
study?
they're emotional, or are they emotional because they hate you?
Because
What's
they
an
are
academic
emotional.
study? What
They
is
tell
an
me that
academic
they're
study?
emotional and they're being very
What-
overstimulated.
Hey! I asked for a study. What is the title of this study?
Are women are women being more emotional?
This is the title of the study. So if I look this up right now, I'll find it.
Is this a superiority of men that we're witnessing right now? Peak
Okay,
performance.
so are
I mean, it's not the
women?
superiority of men, but it's the fact that most
One
women.
second. One second. I'm harping on this. I want the study that shows women are biologically predisposed to be more emotional. What's it? What's the title of the study?
Go look up. Actually, okay, look how emotional a woman is when they're pregnant. How about
Audrey,
that?
Thank you so much for the subscription.
You still got women when they're pregnant, when they're going through pregnancy. You got women when they have their periods. You got women who are sitting there taking care of kids all by themselves.
I don't get
Single
emotional
parent
on my
women.
period.
That's you, but you're not a majority. It's more people out in the world.
So
You're
how do you? Okay, go ahead.
You're a singular person. We're talking about the majority of the people in the
Oh,
entire
you see how
world.
we don't use anecdotes? I'm very happy you grasped that. Thank you. Good job.
But you know what I'm saying? Again, like I said, so when you look at women who are pregnant, who are on their period, they're going to be more emotional and cause more emotional anything when they're going through that state.
Do you have a source? What source do you have of this?
I mean, you
How
can
do
just
think
look it
women
up on
function is?
Google. You could just look it up Google, or you can look up
No sources state these things.
I mean, I'm pretty sure I learned that in
But
school.
but here's the thing though. You made the claim, right? It is required of you to go find the source. We can't look up the sources for you because we do not know like what exactly you're actually like. I don't know the intricacies of your argument like you would. But if you don't even know a source, it seems like you don't even know the intricacies of your own argument.
Are women more emotional than men while they are?
Hey, you understand that like women have a hormonal cycle every month,
Which makes them more emotional. So yes.
Men have a hormonal cycle every 24 hours.
Yeah.
Okay, but yes, but we're not overstimulating ourselves. A man can sit there
You
and
do.
work.
One second.
A man
One
can
second.
sit there and work hundreds
Wait, one
of
second.
hours upon work, but let a
wait, one
woman,
second. We're gonna talk about this point. So you're using the
Nurses
fact
don't exist.
you're using the fact that women, right, have a hormonal cycle that would extend to typically about a week out of every 4 weeks. So men have a hormonal cycle every single day. And this is clearly demonstrable through the context
So
of
then ask me
society.
let me
Hey,
ask
do you
you
mind if I
this.
finish, guys?
Okay, yeah, my bad, my bad,
Sorry,
my
not
bad, my
guy.
Wow.
I said guy. I said guy.
Misgendering
Not-
it too. LD in the chat, y'all.
I use that as a gender neutral.
I know, Dean. Damn.
So typically what we see, men, is like through empirics. It seems as if, right, all social categories in which would be indicative of high level of emotions are just dominated by men, while social categories in which would be indicative of higher levels of logic and less emotion are dominated by women. Like, let's take violent crimes. If women are so emotional, right, and men are so rational and logical, then how come men commit 95% of all violent crimes, including but not limited to domestic abuse, arson, kidnapping, school shootings, mass shootings, homicide, gun-related violence, right, cyberbullying with threats of violence, etc. If women are so emotional and men are so logical, then how come every single war that has been started or atomic bomb that has been dropped has been done at the hand of a man? Every single genocide or attack on a specific group of people due to certain facts of them, of their character, like ethnicity, race, color, etc., are done by men. If women are so emotional and men are so rational, then how come we see more men than women self-unalive, more men than women abuse substances, more men than women, right, engage in irrational, right, risk-adverse activities such as gambling, drunk driving, reckless driving, right? And then if women are so emotional, Rachel, thank you so much for the golden party, Rachel. And if women are so emotional, then how come we see women performing way better than men in the context of academics, right? Women get better grades and graduate more at every single level in comparison to men, right? They get more degrees, literally. And if this is indicative of emotion, then that's just silly, right? We could also talk about investing in the stock market, right? In terms of investing in the stock market, while men have more money, so they make more investments, when we take this tit for tat, or proportionately speaking, women quite literally are better at making more money off the stock market in the short term. I mean, there's so many ways that we can demonstrate this, and simply all I'm going to ask you for is one form of category in the context of society that's indicative of a high level of emotion that is disproportionately dominated by women. And Gregory, thank you so much for the media shower. Rachel and Gregory W in the chat.
Out
Thank
of
you guys
the
so much.
emotional statistics that everything that you just said, if we're just basing it on emotional, the general thing of emotion, right? Out of everything that you just said, most of the stuff like wars and stuff like that, well then, again, most of that is due to a purpose, because it's a purpose that they have to fulfill. Like, again,
an emotional, irrational purpose. An emotional,
not
it's a purpose
emotional.
directed by emotion. Oh, I'm so sorry. So yeah, when Hitler's purpose was to eradicate everyone who did not fit this criteria of being like Aryan, right? AKA they're not white, or they're not Catholic, right? Or they're not tall, right? This was led by logic and not emotion. When he wanted to dominate the entire world, to control it all and eradicate.
It wasn't
everyone
led
from
by
this
emotion.
narrative,
It was
this
led by
this
his
wasn't led by
own.
emotion.
It was led by his own.
Oh yeah, no, that's demonstrably false as well, right?
That's led by his own greed and his own purpose. Just like how you were
No,
saying.
it was.
If you
So
have
are
to
greed?
discipline-
Are these things
just
not
like this, just
emotionally
like this.
based?
If you will have to if you have a child, right, a child, right, and say that they're acting up in school, right, and you have to discipline them, you're not disciplining them because you're emotionally disciplining them. No, you're disciplining them because it's a
Fuck,
purpose,
dude.
and you know that you're trying to set them up for life in a certain type of way and aspect. So you have a purpose for your child, but you're not going to discipline them over your
Is
own
anger and emotion?
emotions.
Do angry people commit violent crimes?
Oh yes, angry people commit violent crimes. Yes, of course.
Is anger an emotion?
Yes, it is.
95% of violent crimes are committed by men.
Well, like I said, was that based off of what statistic, like wars and stuff again? Wars. What I mean, technically, if the stuff that you just mentioned, like wars,
Violent
you
crimes
would
are
not
not
be able
wars.
to be on TikTok making live.
Violent
but you
crimes are
would
not
be
wars.
If it wasn't, if these things did not take place, if the purpose that these high
Violent
government
crimes are not
officials.
wars.
You
Are
said
you saying
what?
that are you saying that people shoot up schools for a purpose? Are you saying that people abuse their partners for a purpose?
I mean-
are you saying that people abuse animals for a purpose? Kidnap kids for a purpose? Commit acts of terrorism for a purpose?
I mean, again, so when
Blow
I was
shit
in
up
school,
for a
again,
purpose?
when I was in school, I was bullied.
They used logic to do
Look,
these things.
Yes, logic. So, and I say logic because again, I
So
was
shooting up schools is logical.
Listen.
Shooting up schools is logical.
It's not logical. It's not a good
I
logical
was just
reason.
fucking with
it's
you when
not
I
a
said
good
that.
logical
That's-
reason. You have to understand, logical can be bad or good. It's not always a good thing.
If something
But
is bad logic, it's unsound and it's not actually
See
logical.
again, so again, when I was in school, I was bullied by majority females instead of men, right? So when
Females and men, got
when
it.
a person gets bullied,
Oh, I see why. I see why he wants to. Okay, there
I see
we
why you
go.
call them females.
This is this is the first realistic argument he's given all night. Yeah, apparently women didn't want him, right? And so he classified that as bullying, and now he's really insecure because women don't.
Oh, I'm
want
not
him.
insecure.
So
Oh,
he
no.
Wait a minute.
projects
How are men superior to women and you let them bully you like that? That sounds like a skill issue, bro.
well, again, when you go to let's say an all predominantly white school as a little kid and you're black, right? They tend to make fun of your skin color like that. Does I mean I'm pretty sure that exists, right? Yeah, that exists, correct?
Nah, bro, tighten up.
I mean,
Handle business.
I'm pretty tightened up. I mean, it's not like I sat there and bullied those girls back. I mean, I honestly just sat there and laughed at them.
Yeah,
but
but
you
you're
would
the
consider
superior.
it.
You didn't,
You
though,
would
'cause you're her.
consider these things as bully if somebody is coming and talking bad about you, making fun of you.
You call women females and males men, okay? You definitely have some residual issues that you need to deal with.
Oh, I don't, not at all. I
Right,
mean, I
because
feel-
this whole thing of calling women females is a relatively recent thing. You heard someone else on the internet say that shit, and now you say it
by saying women are females,
by only referring to women as females,
what do you want me to refer women to then? Like, what do you refer women to?
as women, right? Because it would make no logical sense to
Well,
refer
see,
to
there's-
women.
there's
I'm still
some
speaking.
women-
I'm still speaking. Okay. I want to make sure that you relive your childhood here, right? It really helps with the coping, right?
Oh, you must be going
So-
through emotional, huh?
Oh, I'm emotional as fuck. So yeah, so the thing is, right? What the fuck was I gonna
Jammy,
say?
thank you so much for the $5 over Venmo. And first time viewer, welcome in. Thank you, Jammy.
Oh,
Love you,
that's-
Jammy. They're first time viewer. They just sent me
Thank you,
$5 over
$5.
Venmo. Y'all, please introduce the first time viewer, Jammy. Show Jammy some love in the comment section. They're first time viewer and they just donated $5 over Venmo. Y'all, show Jammy some love.
All right, you had 200K by the way, Dean. Yeah, so annoying. So you've been there for a while. But yeah, so you call women females, and the way that you ought to the way that you ought to address them is that of women, right? Because men imply some kind of womanhood, some kind of like humanhood, right? It implies some kind of personhood, right? Because when you say female, is female what? A dog, a cow, a calf, a giraffe, a bird, right? No, it is inherently dehumanizing, and it is you going out of your way to not refer to women as full human beings, just as the same way that you are. Right. And this is, I know that you did not call women females this entire time. You heard it on the fucking internet and now you're copying.
Oh, I have, because again, I grew up with respect. So I mean, in maturity. So
Respect
therefore,
does not call women females.
So again, therefore,
Explicitly not so.
you have females, you have girls, you have women again, and women are women who can actually have a maturity state of
Okay,
mind
thank you
where
for the
they can
$5
logically
on the
think
on Venmo. Thank
correctly.
you.
Females are just females, as in saying as they're just a
Say
female.
women.
Now,
Say
if you
women.
was to take a
If
test,
you're going
in school,
to use,
right?
if you're going, no, I don't need you. I don't need you to
context clues,
mansplain.
If
like, I
you
don't need
use context
honey,
clues, which
honey,
is one of the first things you learned in English
I don't.
too, I'm talking.
I don't need you to mansplain the English language to me. I speak two languages. I don't need you to say this to me.
I'm breaking it down to you because
I don't need you to do this.
Well,
I come to
you
this
mentioned
country.
it.
I speak two languages. How many do you speak? One. I don't need to hear it. Okay. I don't need you to tell me how this works. Okay. I know how it works, and I'm telling you how it works. If you are going to refer to men as men, then you ought to refer to women as women, right? And if not, it shows
No, I
an
say
obvious
males.
bias.
I say males.
You said men.
Most men is what I said.
You said females and most men.
Exactly. So I didn't refer to all men. I said most men. Just like I
Dude,
said,
this entire
some
conversation has
females.
been gaslighting and coping, Dean. Like I can't.
Yeah. It did. No, you said females and men. Clear as day, dude.
I mean, it's all
Shut
the same thing.
fuck up,
Again,
bro.
if
You
were
are
to-
so fucking emotional, dude. No, listen
I
to
wouldn't
a
say-
real
but
man.
no, if you
no,
were
no,
to
no.
take school,
Shut.
right? If
Sit
you're-
down. Shut up. A real man is about to fucking lecture you, dude. This entire time, you've been doing nothing more than portraying your emotions. You are unironically the
According
only
to your
reductio to your own argument. Right? Because this entire time you've been making the claim that women are so emotional and men are so logical. Meanwhile, you're sitting up here and doing nothing more than expressing your fucking masculine emotions. And you're saying, according to my logic? Fuck no, dude. You want to talk about logic? If you want to talk about facts, if you want to talk about what's true and false, let's go ahead and do it. So a study released called Sex Differences in an Indirect Model-Based Measure of Emotional Feelings, DUI 10.1007//144-022-04227-Z, is an entire study. It's a cohort analysis over 100 pages long that specifically goes into the claim that women are more emotional than men, tests it, and disproves it, right? Via unbiased scientific means of research, observation, using the scientific method, right? And we could even expand on this even further. There's another study called Little Evidence for Sex or Ovarian Hormone Influences on Affective Variability, right? That shows that the level of emotions in which you experience or express is not dependent upon your sex, and even in the context of women, it's not dependent upon their periods. And this is DOI. Let's see here. Give me one moment. DOI 10.1038//41598-021-001437. So it seems as if I've now given you 2 academic studies that seem to be irrefuted, backed by countless peer reviewers, to absolutely disprove your claims. And Rand Miller, thank you so much for the $50 over Venmo. That's so fucking kind of you. Thank you for the $50 over Venmo. W Rand. I want everyone, W Rand, and his attached message says, I'm about to celebrate 10 and a half years sober. Bro, I'm so
fucking W, dude.
Fucking hell yeah.
Fucking
Rand.
W, Rand. I know
Dude,
that shit is
W
hard,
fucking
dude.
Rand.
Fucking W, dude.
Huge W Rand for
Huge
that.
W.
Absolutely huge W Rand for that. But yeah, do you want to go ahead and respond to like these 2 academic sources in which utterly disprove your revolting claims?
Again, so are we speaking about America or are we speaking about the entire world?
Worldwide, sweetheart.
So we used to speak about world, like again, if you was to go into Asia,
Wait,
right?
are you saying one second? First of all, these would be subject to the world as a whole. But secondly, if you're saying that the emotional variability of men and women is dependent upon the context of the society in which they live in, this would counter your own claim, because this would just show that individuals are socialized into showing different levels of emotions, which was the original counter argument in which Tashika made. So now if you're saying that the emotional expression of women is going to be dependent upon their society, well, now you're just saying that society is going to perpetuate norms in which would affect the emotional expression of certain people. So you're going to have to hold to this idea that it's not dependent on the societies. And the fact that you mentioned that disproves your own point.
It disproves my own point. How?
Yeah, because you hold to the fact that this is like women having higher levels of emotion is purely indicative
Mariella,
of
thank
their
you
biology.
for the $5 over Cash App. Thank you, my love.
W. Mariella. So yeah, you're holding to the claim that women have higher levels of emotion than men because of their biology, right? However, if you're saying that this could be variable dependent upon society, you are now saying that women have higher levels of emotion than men because of societal norms.
If there was a choice, right, for between a man and a woman to make a bigger decision, say as far as in
Fuck no, you're not pivoting. I don't care. I gave you 2 academic studies that disprove this entire narrative that women are more emotional, and then I even showed you how your own response to these academic studies would disprove yourself. So you are going to go ahead and respond to these 2 things and not pivot away to some other dumbass subject. No, you are in a corner, and you are going to stay in that corner like the good boy you are and fucking respond to my claims.
Repeat your claims one more time.
The whole thing?
Don't worry.
Just one. Let me go by one because you're stating a lot. Just go by one. If that's not.
I specifically gave you 2 academic studies.
Repeat one of those, please.
Yeah. Well, both of them indicate that like the level of emotions in which you'd experience is not impacted by your sex or like hormonal cycle in the context of women.
Okay, so where I'm reading that from here in the University of Michigan, right? It says that women are more emotional expressive, but not due to
You
experience.
didn't read this shit. You didn't read that shit.
I'm reading it right now.
You're gonna disprove yourself.
I'm reading it right now.
You're gonna disprove yourself. Don't read it. I'm a
While
save
the
you that shit.
expressive component of emotion
Let him do it. Let him do it. Let him do it. Let him do it.
it remains unclear whether or not men and women differ in other aspects of emotions. Most researchers agree that women are more emotional expressive.
What does expressive mean? What does expressive mean?
Expressing your emotions. Therefore, when
Right,
you're
that means, right, I'm gonna explain to you what it means.
when you are expressing your emotions.
Honey.
So again,
So,
let's go
I'm
back
grabbing
to
at my
your
glasses.
question,
They ain't even here. Honey,
Let's go,
honey.
Let's go back to
Honey,
your question,
boo, boo.
Host
Hey,
Dean.
baby.
Host Dean, let's go back to your question. You said
baby.
you said is
Baby, don't
anger an emotion?
Run.
Right?
Don't run
Did you
from
say
it.
anger is
Don't run
emotion,
from
right?
it, baby.
You said anger is an
Honey.
emotion, correct?
Don't run from it. It's a
You
secondary
said
emotion.
anger is an emotion, correct?
It is a type of emotion. Okay, good job. Thank you, Deanie Pooh. Right. So when the study says more emotionally expressive, it is saying that men and women, right? Because you guys like to read that study a lot and you misrepresent it because apparently a lot of people don't have a lot of comprehension skills. That study quite literally says that men and women express the same range of emotions, but women, right, are more likely to outwardly express those emotions, whereas men are more likely to internalize these emotions, right? Which leads to men having a higher chance of having like very angry or violent outbursts because these behaviors and emotions are secondary and they arise, right, when one does not deal with their current emotions and when they become frustrated. But the reason women do not have these like heightened levels of violence or like anger is because they are more expressive because socially they are allowed to do so.
And then also on top of it, women do this because they're more emotionally intelligent. Name one therapist that will tell you to internalize your emotions in comparison to express them in a mature manner.
Again, like I said, well, you told me not too long ago, you said that anger is an emotion, right? And therefore you're expressing an emotion. That is what that means. If we was to go based off of regular context and not to take it any,
You don't know what that word means.
I'm looking at what it means actually. I can even pull
So
up
when
the
again, when it
definition
says
to read it off to you.
expression, whether or
Did
not
you
you
make the
express,
dictionary?
my lovely, I'm going to explain it to you.
Okay.
Whether or not someone is expressing a particular emotion does not mean they do not feel the emotion. Men and women feel the same emotions. Women are more likely to outwardly express those emotions, right? Women are external, more likely. Men tend to be internal. Thank you, Nemo, for the $2.22 over Cash App. Yeah, so again, when it says expressive, it doesn't mean that women feel it more. They are just more likely to externally portray those emotions.
Well, that's what you're saying, but when I'm reading here, it's speaking on a completely different context. So I'm trying to. That's what you're saying, but when I'm reading here, it's speaking on a completely different.
You got a phone call, leave the TikTok app and come back into the TikTok app. Don't like leave the live. Don't disconnect. Just hit the home button on your phone. And Gregory, thank you so much for the coral, man. And Nicole with the GGs. If any of you else want to support me, you guys, I have my Venmo and my PayPal in my bio. It's literally the best way to support me. I get 100% of the proceeds. You'll even get a notification with your name and a message on the top of my screen that I could read off to the whole chat, you guys. So if you do want to support me, please do consider doing so. Both of those things are in my bio, y'all. But let's go ahead and get him unmuted here. And the same thing would go for Tashika, y'all. If you want to support Tashika, her Cash App and her Venmo are in her bio. Can you use Cash App? So Gregory asked, can you use Cash App? If you Cash App Tashika and her Cash App is in her bio, just say it's for me and she could give it to me that way. If that's all right with you, Tashika?
Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, of course.
Yeah. Because I'm banned off of Cash App, but she has Cash App in her bio.
Oh, you're still banned?
Yeah, and you could just send it to her and she'll read it off. So if you want to cash at me, just send it to her cash app, but make sure to include that it's for Dean. Anyways, Rad, do you want to go ahead and respond to like the claims in which Tashika made?
Yes, again, like I said, I'm still stating the fact that women are more emotional in a sense because, again, what I'm reading here, is multiple, even this website I'm reading here, I mean, the Physiology Today, my bad,
Alana, thank you for the $5 over Venmo, and Josiah, thank you for the $2 over PayPal. Continue.
Ban from Cash App is insane, Chad. Dean always like just outdoes my expectations every time.
Josiah and Alana W. Dude, I've been banned on 2 accounts.
Like it's like
Anyways.
I don't know how you do it.
We've went over this many times. Unless you'd like to provide like a new argument that may be more convincing or respond to our counter arguments, we could continue this conversation. But if that's not the case, I am just going to move on to the next guest. But feel free to, actually engage.
I'm sorry. Were you looking at psychology today? What did you say? How did you pronounce that word?
He's not even here. Shall we move on?
Yeah.
Yeah, this guy's a lost cause.
I'm stating the fact
Thank you, Alana, for the $5 over Venmo. Period. Yo, we got 1.6 thousand people in here. Copy the link. The link. Thank you. I love you guys.
Oh man, I was hoping you guys wouldn't kick him off. I was kind of like enjoying this. This guy was so delusional. What are we back in the 1800s and listening to women's suffrage again? My God, that was so delusional. Sorry, I don't mean to be condescending, but that was sad to listen to that guy.
Bradley! Oh my God, Bradley with the $50 over Venmo. Y'all show some love to Bradley K in that chat right now for the $50 over Venmo. That's so incredibly kind of you. W Bradley in the chat, y'all. But anyways,
oh, Potato, thank you just for me. Thank you for the $10 over Cash App. Oh.
Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered, Logic?
No, believe me, my wife and I, we're at an equal base, and there is no data or anything to support what that guy was talking about. It's the most ridiculous, condescending. I cannot believe my wife is a psychologist. She was even listening to this stuff, and we were just literally laughing. That's why I wanted to come on, because I wanted to ask him his questions. How does he demonstrate, or what metrics is he using to get there is the question I was curious about, because he wasn't providing shit. Excuse my language.
Absolutely.
But
Wait, Bradley, was that for me or was that for Dean?
hey guys, keep sending the money. You don't have to give me money, but send them money.
$50.
I appreciate you for coming up, Logic. I am just looking for people that disagree, but thank you for your time.
Yeah, no problem. I totally do. I wanted to challenge the guy, and that was it. Keep up the fight, dude. I'm so glad you guys are doing this. Thank you.
Thank you, Logic. W Logic.
Sarah said, thank you. I'm not going to lie, Dean. This is kind of funny. I mean, like, hey, this money's for Dean, but I love you too. It's just so fucking...
Wait, W Sarah.
Thank you, Sarah. Thank you, Sarah.
How much did they send?
$6.66.
W Sarah for the $6.66. We're gonna move on to our next guest, y'all. We're gonna move on to our next guest here, y'all. Everyone, just allow us a moment to get our next debate going on.
How do I send this to you, Dean? Venmo?
Venmo. What's going on? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
Thank you for the galaxy, Joshy. You're so hot. I'm sorry.
Damn. What's up, Keish? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
Thank you, Bradley. Thank you.
Okay, Keish isn't here. We're gonna move on to our next guest at this point, y'all. Let's go and see what our next guest has to say. If we are in those guest requests, make sure that we would consider men to be superior. Quanisha, thank you for the $5 over Venmo. W Quanisha,
Thank you
y'all.
for the other galaxy. Thank you guys so much. Is that Ben? I think it's Ben. Thank you.
What's his name? Ben Geller? I didn't see it.
I don't. Wait, which one is the
Hey,
which
so
person?
I don't think that men are superior, but are you saying that women are superior to men?
No.
Nope. Moving on. No one's superior to anyone. Superiority is a figment of insecure males' imagination. So let's go to see what our next guest has here.
Thank
W Galaxy.
Dark
we got our
Sided
next guest.
Ginger. Thank you so much for the galaxy. You guys are so sweet. I'm gonna cry.
Hello, Keith. Hello, Keith.
Kiki,
All right, we're gonna
thank
go
you
to-
for the $40. 20 for me, 20 for Dean. I love you too.
Thank you so much, Kiki. W
Kanisha,
Kiki.
thank you for the $3 over Venmo. Thank you.
What's up, Rob? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
I'm buying a new wig with this money.
Man, I got 4 daughters. You already know the answer to that.
Reese, thank you for the $20 over Cash App. You're literally so hot. Thank you. Anyway, white boys with big noses, hop into my DMs. We are looking for a date to my week's banquet. Thank you.
What's up, Josiah? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
Nah. I just wanted to
What
get in the
happened?
line.
Just
Get
like-
out of here, man!
I've never heard someone be so obvious and blatant and honest. We're gonna go and move on to our next guest, guys. If we are in the guest request, make sure that we do disagree and that we do think that men are superior, y'all. We're gonna go to move on to our next guest. Follow me on TikTok, Bradley. I got you. Thank you so much for the 50 once again, bro. What's up, Jason? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered? Okay, Jason's not even here. Y'all, I do apologize for these delays, everyone. Just allow us a second. We will get some debates going, and I do apologize for these delays once again. You guys have been absolutely so supportive tonight. I'm so thankful for every single one
Genuinely.
of y'all.
You guys have been going great. Like, you know, Deanie Weenie was a little bit sad, but he's so much happier now.
For real. What's up, Ricky? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
Yes, they are.
All right, why so, Ricky?
Because
fucking
since
Dinesh.
caveman time, men were going out.
That's
to
not
hunt,
true.
And women were staying back. They were doing the cooking.
Yeah,
we go
so
out
there's
and do construction. We do buildings.
In caveman times?
So, women
The
are
women
not
were
able
in
to
the
break
kitchen in
laws.
caveman times.
Yeah,
This ain't the
let's go back.
Flintstones.
Let's go to Adam
What
and
are
Eve.
you
Let's go back
doing?
to Adam and Eve. Let's go back to Adam and Eve. Come on. God. When you think of God, what do you think?
Like,
Men.
what the fuck?
You don't think God is a woman? So men are superior,
Jesus.
yes.
Oh my God. Okay, we're
We
gonna
got
harp on that.
muscle. We got
We're gonna
power.
harp. We're
work
gonna harp
throughout
on
the
that
day.
last
We
point.
take care of the women.
Winnie, thank you for the $5
Listen,
over
I just
PayPal.
broke up with
Wait, I
my
want to harp
woman,
on that
right?
last point, Ricky. I
Because
got an
she
argument
expect-
for you. I got a
Okay,
question
go
for
ahead.
you. So you just said that God's a man, right?
Yes,
Do you think trans women are women, and trans men are men?
they're men.
So you
They
do
think they're
respect
women,
like trans
but
ID?
they're men.
Oh, okay. And why are they not a woman?
Because they have a fucking penis. Sorry, watch
Okay,
my
and-
language. Sorry, I
And
hope I
wait,
don't get
what's
blocked.
what's required to be a woman? What's required to be a man?
Kanisha,
if
thank you
have
for
a
the
vagina,
$3,
you
and
can
Sarah, thank you
reproduce.
for the $1.
So if you can reproduce, you are a woman. You are
Wait,
a
both men
woman
and
is
women can
meant to reproduce, to
Oh.
give babies, to
So you're
have
saying like a vagina,
pregnancy.
be pregnant,
Yes,
have a
so
vagina?
God put us on this
Okay.
planet.
Okay, one second, Ricky. I'm
to
not done. And just like
reproduce.
one second. I don't care about this. And then, like, you'd also say that like it's required to have a penis to be a man.
Yes,
Okay, but then you also said that God's a man, right?
yes.
Go ahead,
Okay,
PP.
so yeah, at the moment of conception, did God have like the presence of a male reproductive
I
system?
hope
such
so.
as a
I
penis?
hope he had a big one.
Imagine getting donkey
Well,
punched
I
by a
guess.
god. I'm sorry.
Robert, thank you so much for the $25 over Venmo.
Wow,
And Jason, thank you so
that's
much for the
amazing.
$10 over PayPal. Robert and
Let's
Jason,
go.
I appreciate the both of y'all so much. So anyways, here's the argument, right? So you're saying that God is a man, right? God is a he, yet God
So
is
listen,
immaterial. One second. Dude, Ricky,
I'm gonna
shut the
take-
fuck up and
I'm
listen to
gonna-
my
I'm gonna
argument. Let's shut the fuck up and listen to my argument. So you're saying like God's a he, God's a man, yet like prior to the existence of anything material, right? God didn't possess like a penis. God didn't possess any reproductive system, yet you'd still classify him as a man. So why would you say that God is a man even though he doesn't have a penis, Ricky?
Wouldn't that technically make God either like gender
Okay,
non-conforming
so
or
I had to
non-binary?
turn on the microphone. Sorry.
Christopher, thank you for the comment with me. So why do you respect the fact that God is a man even though he doesn't have a... Damn. Got flagged.
Oh,
Damn, bro. Dude,
Ricky, when I
honestly...
catch you, Ricky. I'm sorry.
You want to know? I might run a topic on this. Sarah, thank you for the $1 over Venmo. There's no distinction, right, between like respecting God's pronouns.
Gregory,
and
thank you for the
respecting trans
$70 over
pronouns.
Cash App. No, I run that too. Thank you for the $70 over Cash App. 50-50 between. I don't know how to split that, but you know it's fine. Oh yeah, you're right.
Gregory, thank you so much, man. You've been
Don't-
supporting all night.
Guys,
Thank you so
Gregory-
much, Gregory.
First of all, Gregory, if you're married, that don't matter to me. We can keep it a secret. Other thing is, don't ask Tashika about math. I don't know numbers.
Thank you so much for your support. Y'all, let's get a W Gregory and a W Robert as well. I'm so appreciative for y'all.
W
Doug,
me
thank
not
you so
being
much,
able
man.
to do math, yo guys. I am 22 years old. Don't ask me what 7 times 7 is. I don't fucking know. I don't know.
What's going on? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered? Okay, they just dropped. We're going to move on to our next guest, everyone. By the way, guys, in case we get taken down, y'all, make sure to hit the follow button. Because we did just get a flag on the live. That may mean that we're going to get taken down here
Kai,
shortly,
thank
y'all.
you for the $10 over Cash App. Dean's okay
just-
too, though.
So just make sure to hit that follow button, y'all. Make sure to hit that follow button, everyone. We're going to get our next guest up in here. Let's go to see what our next guest has to say. All right, Chewy's not loading in.
Math
But y'all,
for
seriously,
boys.
make sure to hit the follow button, you guys, because, right now, hit it, because we got a flag. We may get taken down. Let's go and see what our next guest has to say, everyone. The Mouthy Firefly. Everyone
Remember
just
to big
allow
up
some
Dean
time.
for 200K, dude. I'm so
Dude,
happy.
that's such a W. Dude, it's such a fucking W. 200K is a milestone and a half. What's going on? Do you think that men are superior to women, all things considered?
On the macro, yes, I do.
Why so?
If you look at history and you look at all the things that have been done across the board, and I will never bring God into anything because I believe that the Bible was just a big book of do's and don'ts. I extremely express the following of science, carbon dating, all that. Shit just does not line up. But I like the book. I also read Dante's Inferno. I like that book too.
Holy fuck, you get distracted so easily, but continue.
So here we go. So I believe that men are far superior to women. And hell, I'm going to get so much flack that I'm getting married in 2 months, my man. So I'm trying to skirt this as softly as I can. If you look at the macro,
That's so fucking stupid. So go ahead, sorry.
if you look at everything across history that's been written, yes, there are women in history that have done amazing, great things to change our society. But on the basal instinct of testosterone, basal instinct, testosterone focuses more on having more than being. Women focus more on being than having. So, that being said, with the other guy,
Yeah, you're saying that men are more driven.
we build buildings, we erect things, we construct things, we
get erect.
Yeah, well, that's for sure. But
okay, I have 2 arguments against this. Larry,
Let's go.
Thank you so much for the $5 over PayPal. I really appreciate you, man. W. Larry. So effectively, your argument just reduces down towards like men being superior to women because men are more driven than women, correct? And the big problem with this is that there's no evidence to indicate that this is true. And we can look at a metric to show that this is the case. Would you say that there's probably a positive correlation between one's drive and their academic performance?
if I had the drive to do something, I would do it. Anything
when we talk about school,
overdoing.
when we talk about school, right? One's drive is probably their most important trait. Like someone could be smart, not put the work in, get bad grades. I'm a perfect example. I graduated high school with a 2.9. Someone could be not as intelligent and really put the work in and get phenomenal grades. A good example would be like a couple friends that I have that have literally no fucking common sense. Some of the dumbest motherfuckers I've ever met. I got a friend, Matthew, so stupid, but he graduated with a 4.1, right? So I think that the most like important factor when we're talking about like school and performance in it is going to be how driven you are to succeed. Would you agree with this?
Absolutely.
All right, so drive for success is the most important factor in good performance in school. And if men had more of this drive for success than women, we would totally expect to see men outperforming women at school. But we don't at all. In fact, we see women absolutely destroying men in the context of school. They're getting better grades, significantly better grades. They're getting more degrees, significantly more degrees. They're going to school for longer, significantly longer. They're graduating more at all levels from primary, middle, elementary, high school, college, undergrad, grad, etc. right, at astronomically higher rates than men. And if drive is going to be the determining factor in how well you do in school, ultimately, we would expect more men to do these things than women if your given proposition was true. And because we don't see that, I feel like we could say with some confidence that it is not true that men are more driven than women.
That, I mean, when you make the debate and when you make that claim, you are right. History will always be written by the victor. Am I wrong?
No, not at all.
So certain tribes will take everything. They'll be like, listen, I saw both sides. I saw him. This is what I saw. They wrote it down. That is cool. That is understandable. And I respect that. Okay. Would you expect 300 women? No, hold up. Would you expect 300 women to stand up and say, I'm going to give my life right now to save the rest of the people that I love? Have you seen that in history?
Yes, as if there aren't fucking like women in the military, as if there aren't
you're right. And if you look back go all the way back to when swords and armor was a thing. Joan of Arc, she did amazing things with
So what is your point here? I'm sorry, because it seems like you're
every once in a while you will get a champion, but at the head of state, at the head of the macro, in history, it will prove that men's achievements will always triumph over a woman's. That doesn't mean that does not mean that will always be the case, because change.
You understand that this isn't because of like male superiority.
Yeah.
Kim, thank you so much for the $5 over PayPal. You understand this isn't because men are more driven. No, this is because, right, men possess one very simple biological advantage over women, and that is physical strength, right? And men have used, right?
Have you been punched by Ronda Rousey?
Advantage. 1 second.
I haven't. I wouldn't want it.
And men use this one biological advantage that they possess over women, a biological strength, right? And they've used this historically to oppress women and to create systems in which women are systematically disadvantaged in comparison to men. So when we're looking at, right, these systems throughout the context of history where women are systematically disadvantaged in comparison to men, not only are we going to be seeing less women inventors, not only are we going to be seeing less women creators, less women leaders, right? Because of these systemic forms of disadvantage, because of forms of these systemic disadvantages, right? We're also going to be seeing people like you use this fact or use this result of this misogynistic system to justify it, to justify the misogyny. Because instead of explaining, right, the disproportionate more amount of like male leaders, male inventors, male creators, etc., right, you explain this by just simply saying women aren't capable to do these things, right? So it's a negative feedback loop. You create a system in which oppresses women, and then you use the outcomes of this system that oppresses women to justify the oppression. It's redundant, it's stupid, it's crazy. And I have a really good, right, analogy to show you like what I mean here, right? Would you say that black people are any less capable or any less driven than white people?
Negative. I believe that black people are more driven than white people, because at this current point in time, with all of the bullshit and racism going on our planet, not just in the United States, all over the world, they feel that they need to prove themselves even more to get ahead of the other color.
Then how come it's a white man's history? You're saying it's a man's history. The man was the victor. The man created. The man invented. Therefore, the women are worse at doing these things. But it's not just the man's. It's the white man's. It's been the white man's history. It's been the white man that's the creator. It's been the white man that's the leader. One second. I'm almost done. It's been it's been the white man that's the inventor, right? And all these same attributes where you can make the claim that men are more driven than women because men have done all these things like create, innovate, and lead, right? We also see disproportionately that it is white men who have created, innovated, and lead, historically speaking. Joshy, thank you for the galaxy. And Robert, thank you for the $25 over Venmo, right? Like we could let's just look at like one context of this. Leadership. Fortune 500 CEOs. You want to know like what percentage of them are men and women? It's about a 70-30. Now, what about white and black? It's about a 92 to 8. 92% of Fortune 500 CEOs are white, 8% are black. And then we could even go into like presidents, right? We've had one black president and 45 white presidents, right? We could talk about STEM-related fields. It's disproportionately dominated by white people. We could talk about all just like careers in general, right? We see the highest level of poverty amongst African Americans. We see the highest levels of unemployment amongst African Americans. We see nearly $10,000 to $20,000 gap in the annual income comparing white families to black families. So all of these same markers that you've been using to justify male superiority in the dynamic comparing men to women, right? These same markers would exist in the context of white people and black people. So would you say that somehow white people are superior to black people because of these markers?
Man, you got me on this one. Now, I've been trying to roll this one around for a while. So when you say it like that, no. But when you look at society, everybody wants society's approval. Society has made this fucked, clicky.
The answer's no. The answer's no.
Look at the Skull and Bone Society. How many of them are black? I can't name any.
I don't know what Skull and Bone Society is.
Skull and Bones is a very prestigious organization within very prestigious schools.
Gregory, thank you so much for the gold mine.
So
yeah, thank you for pushing my point even further. Gregory, thank you so much for the gold mine. So
can
you
I
said
ask you a
no.
question?
You see, real quick, you can. You've been respectful. You could absolutely ask me a question. I just want to land my plane, right?
Yeah, go for it.
You said no. Considering the white domination and all of these roles throughout the context of society and throughout the context of societies that have existed in history, right? White people are not superior to black people. So why don't you say the same about the dynamic that exists in the context of sex? You won't say it about this dynamic as it exists in race, but you will say it as this dynamic exists in sex.
I think each dynamic has its own attributes.
And what attribute is true of the dynamic in the instance of sex that is not true in the dynamic in the instance of race that would justify male superiority but not justify white superiority? What's the symmetry breaker?
Biology. It has to be.
Such as what? I mean, we could point out differences on all levels, right? I mean, the same way that you could say, well, males possess a penis, females possess a vagina, we could say that white people possess less melanin and black people possess more melanin, right? But it's like these specific attributes of biology aren't necessarily going to indicate superiority. So what are the relevant aspects of biology that would indicate superiority in the context of males?
Chemical composition.
Chemical composition, what's more specifically?
Testosterone.
Testosterone. So the higher levels of testosterone in which you possess, you're more likely to do what?
Overpower a woman. Oh. This is tough, man. This is why I've been sitting here for almost an hour and a half. For sure. This is a good one. This is why I wanted to be in this debate. I believe on the macro, not on the micro, because the micro is beautiful. Micro is what gives you Nikola Tesla, who was in fact beaten out by another man because of his testosterone. Men do it to men, men do it to women. Men just do it, man. I'm a tree climber. I climb trees for a living, and I take trees down away from the power lines. I am a line clearance tree trimmer. My job is predominantly male. There are a very few select badass bitches out there that I can't even fucking come close to, bro. I'm 35 years old, okay?
We're just talking about propensities.
What's that?
We're just talking about propensities. But it's like, why? I don't think that one's ability to overpower or dominate is going to make them superior. Like, for instance, let's just look at some worldly leaders. That
But
have
what
been
about
the
men
best.
what about men? Like, so if you watch, like, I do this for a living, or I do this as a hobby. I go hunting. Well, I don't want to get into the whole vegan.
The Guardian of the Soul,
That
Robert.
stuff's
Thank you for the
crazy.
$25 over Venmo.
So-
You're so incredibly kind, Robert. Thank you so much for all your support, dude. W. Robert in the chat. He's been supporting all night. Thank you so much, Robert. W. Guardian of the Soul. W. Robert. Y'all, please show him some love. And go ahead, the mouthy.
So, when you look at a male lion, at another male lion, and he says, "Oh, hey, look at that piece of tail over there, my boy," and he's like, "I bet I can get her before you." What's it turn into? A fight. When you see a bunch of turkeys standing in the fucking middle of a field, pardon my French, when you see a bunch of turkeys standing in the middle of a field and a hen comes running out, what do every single one of them bastards do? They puff up, they get masculine, right? Big time. That right there is enough to turn a woman off as a Homo sapien. Right there. I don't want that fight because she's
Yeah.
smarter.
We're not going to say that this is... Yeah, exactly. Well, duh. Yeah, you're spot on, actually. Nothing
She's
that you've said
smarter.
is false. Nothing that you've said is false. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, they're
It
smarter.
sucks, man. It sucks
but I
to
don't-
say this because you have got the greatest question of all time, my bro. You do because it can be taken objectively on both sides.
One last trait though here. One last thing here though. So yeah, you did agree that like effectively that what you believe makes men superior would be a man's ability to overpower and dominate. And let's go ahead and test this. All right. So let's look at some worldly leaders. Let's look at the most powerful worldly leaders. So the leaders in which have overpowered and dominated the most people. Queen
Elizabeth.
An example. Well, follow me here. An example of a leader that was able to overpower and dominate so many people and had planned for further domination is Hitler. I mean, Hitler was able, right, to take over like half of Europe, right? His direct actions led to the death of over like 11 million people. His indirect actions led to the deaths of 100 million people, right? We see this, and then he had plans for world fucking domination.
And it's still happening
NATO
today
didn't
with the
get
neo-Nazis.
yeah, it's really sad. And if NATO didn't get in his way, Hitler would have dominated the world. In fact, if Hitler got the UK, he probably would have dominated the world, right? And what we see here is, would we therefore consider Hitler to be one of the most superior leaders of all time because of his ability to dominate?
I don't want to say this, as bad as I don't want to say this, because I am a full fucking American. Okay? Yes, he was. Napoleon Bonaparte. Napoleon, but it's not what his goal was, it's what he achieved. Napoleon
Okay, no.
Bonaparte
I know what you're saying sounds bad, and I know what you're trying to say, but even in that context, I still don't think that it's necessarily correct.
As
Well,
a
question:
leader
Is
for his
superiority
country.
is superiority bad?
Yes.
That's okay. Well, I mean, actually, yeah, you're consistent.
Then fine, whatever. I
superiority's
don't
bad.
got shit to say on.
It's disgusting. It is, man. Society made this shit the way it is today because they couldn't conform to the idea of change. Am I wrong? Do you know how hard it has been to fight for women's rights? You know how hard it was for African Americans to be taken fucking seriously at the bargaining table? We did that. White people did that. And that's fucked up. No, I
don't think that there was going to call me crazy. I'm willing to step in here. I don't think that there's gonna be any difference between what you and me think. I just think we're using different words to describe it.
Is that
like
okay?
like when you call Hitler superior, but then denote that superiority is, well, quite honestly,
Superiority
terrible,
is defined
right?
as what you make it. So when you say when I say Hitler was superior, I look at, and I can use these contexts right now. You can pull up Prime Video, get on there, buy the movie Fury with Brad Pitt and a few of our other, Michael Pena and all of them, to find out that the American,
I mean, you're basically just
unsuperior. They outnumbered them 100 to 1.
You're using the word superior interchangeably with the word control, right? One's ability to control, manipulate, and dominate is going to be indicative of their superiority. But see, I think that we're actually at a point where you could leave this live better than you came in, quite frankly, because I think it's finally time we start talking about the distinction between these things. When we're talking about superiority, right, this is going to be referred to as a positive quality. Superiority is going to mean you have more value. Superiority is going to mean that you are better than, right? And phrases like you have more value, phrases like you're better than, phrases like a positive quality are not going to be associated with people like Hitler, are not going to be associated with concepts like dominance or control. These qualities are not going to be associated with the things in which you've been prescribing superiority to, right? So I think if you just like recognize that in theory, right, superiority is a good thing, right? You will stop calling people like Hitler superior, and more specifically in the context of men and women, you will stop saying men are superior. Gregory, thank you so much for the gold mine, because
I've never
up until
really
this point
looked
in
at
the
it like
conversation, right, you've said men are superior for all these really negative reasons.
Yes, they're negative now.
Oh shit! Did you hit a vape or smoke something?
Oh yeah, he had his cigarettes in his mouth.
Yeah, you just got the visibility of the live restricted. I gotta kick you, man. But closing statements. Go for it.
I appreciate the man. That was a battle. I'm gonna be thinking about this for so long. It's gonna bake my noodle for days while I'm at work. So I appreciate it.
Bake your noodle.
Man, this is crazy, dude.
Well, I appreciate you for coming up here. I
appreciate the live. Thank you.
I enjoyed our conversation. Have a good rest of your day.
Have a good night, sweetheart.
Sweetheart.
Did he call me a sweetheart?
You're a little sweetheart, Dean.
Did he call me a fucking sweetheart?
He sure as fuck wasn't talking to me. I'm just a girl.
He called me a fucking sweetheart.
Period.
Okay, all right. I had so much hope in him, man.
Yeah, it didn't seem like we actually disagreed. I caught on at the very end there.
Yeah,
What he was saying.
like I'm gonna be willing to say that he just conceptualized of superiority different than like a lot of people do. And
Yeah,
it would go down to
he
like a
just think
verbal
different.
dispute. Yeah,
Yeah,
he thinks different.
He built different.
Yeah.
He think different brain.
Different.
I
brain.
love
Well,
talking to people when that happens.
Me too. I actually rather enjoyed that conversation. Yeah, but we got that. You have a sweetheart, Dean. Thank you, Gregory. We got a warning on the live here for tobacco. I was gonna end anyways. I gotta start packing up to leave tomorrow. So I'm gonna go ahead and end for the night just because of the warning, which sucks. But hey,
You still at your
it is
mom's?
what it is. Yeah, I leave in the morning. I was gonna.
Don't make me beg.
1, go! Bowser Jr. wins. Bowser Jr. wins.